Hello everybody, in this episode, No Direction have to fight a vampire lord to prove they are worthy of entering the holy vault of Varsala. However, their inability to keep their mouths shut lead to their treacherous intentions being overheard. Keep watching to find out what happens.
Guys, it is a coup continued. So for today and a few more sessions yet, I have control of the DM seat, and now here I am in HD. We are D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play handsome and beautiful boys, because it isn't fantasy unless everyone is hot. So, this is an original mini-campaign set in our beloved Jamie's homebrew world of Lakai. And here I have created my own little section of the world, which I will now force my friends through like toothpaste through a tube. And I am here to give Jamie a break, but also to flirt with my friends on as many characters as I possibly can. I am Dungeon Master Cleared, and joining me tonight are the No Direction. That's your name. Let me introduce the gang. This is Jamie as Lucifer,
Hello.
Eski as Modi, Erin as Bray,
Hello, hello.
Luke as Ahim.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah, do that. Sai as Osiris,
Hello.
and our newest gang member, Ben as Mercy.
Live long and prosper.
I don't think I have any particular announcements for today. Do I? Does anyone have any announcements? Oh, you're muted.
I
Miss
have
Erin.
a couple of little announcements.
Oh, you do? Cool.
So if you follow any of the D&D Boyband social channels, you will have noticed there's been a slew of content coming out recently. On our Instagram page, you'll see that almost all of the artwork from campaign 1 is now uploaded on there, so you can have a little scroll through about 100 different images. I think I actually went through our entire fan art folder, and like if I counted up every single little doodle and sketch that we've ever been sent, there's like 150 pieces of artwork in there, so it's pretty incredible. So yeah, if you want to check it out, you can go have a little peek on Instagram. Also, we have some new TikToks up as well. They're also cross-posted to YouTube Shorts, and they'll also be on Reels soon as well, and Twitter. So feel free to go check all of those out if you are so inclined. So yeah, the updates.
You know, I actually have another announcement. It's my cat's birthday today. He is
Oh
2
my
years old.
gosh.
Big
And this-
announcement.
Happy
don't know if you can see
birthday,
it.
Kale!
Happy birthday,
Pumpkin
Prince
has
Kale.
said to come. Pumpkin's arrived just to say happy birthday to Kale.
Thank you, Pumpkin. It's much appreciated. Praise the Sun King.
Thank you for wishing him
He's
happy
currently
birthday. Mwah.
sleeping there. I don't know if you can see him, but he's having a birthday nap. Anyway, let's do a wee little recap. So a brand new group of adventurers, No Direction, made their way on a ship to the mysterious and obviously very scary Dread Isles to deal with a quest that was posted half a world away, offering them 10,000 gold each upon completion of a task, which seems to be along the lines of dealing with something in the divine vault of Varsala. This was posted by a General Montague of Varsala, who they have come this entire way to come and see. You made your way into the city. You were greeted with by the Master of Trade and Immigration, who had you sign magical contracts of silence, and you were led through what is a very pristine, very pretty city, actually, in white stone, where everyone seems pretty well to do. Everyone seems very perfectly happy. It all seems lovely. You're assigned a guardsman, Colitha, who seems to be a lieutenant of what he called the Pale Guard. Not before you had paid your tithe to enter the city, at the foot of a fountain depicting the Dread Emperor who seems to rule this place. Some of you heard voices, some of you received his approval and boon, some of you dumped your own money into the fountain, some of you it was blood, some of you dumped other people's money into the fountain to win your praises. But yeah, the party has a varying number of boons and fun stuff from that. After that, you were put in a carriage and sent up to the top of the city to go and meet General Montague. On your way up the hill in this carriage, the guardsman with you, Colitha, was distracted. He left the carriage, and in slipped a woman, Vesper, while he was away. She bade that you pay attention to her and listen to what she had to say. She desperately wants to leave Varsala and the Dread Isles. and she asked that you help her achieve this. The only way she thought you could feasibly escape, for she made it about you as well. She promised you that you will not be leaving these islands, even if you succeed, is if you create a big enough distraction that the Dread Emperor just won't care if you slip away in the night. Her suggestion for this was to kill the Wave Caller, a druid, it seems, who keeps the ambience of the island together. She suggested, or pleaded rather, that you meet her at midnight at the barge wharf, were you au fait with this plan. So she left you to mull it over, and you continued on your way up the hill to Montague House, which, by all accounts, is a stunning property, extremely large, very nicely decorated, clearly very expensive as well. Kind of obnoxiously large, in fact, for a city property. You waited for a brief while in the hallway, in the entrance hall, hearing voices from upstairs, at which point a large orc woman stomped her way downstairs, took a look at you, and then moved out into the courtyard. You then moved upstairs yourself into a study, which is where you now find yourselves. And a spacious and elegant room lit by a fireplace that cracks with a pretty happy, bubbling little fire. The walls are panelled in rich mahogany, and it's warm, actually, almost too warm. There are tall windows lining the walls, all of which are curtained. The furniture is pretty classic. The Georgian isn't the right word. I don't know what the Georgian equivalent of this world is, but it's that kind of vibe. Sturdy desks, comfy armchairs by the fire, many bookcases filled with leather-bound volumes. He's got some little model ships around the walls, quite a few actually. Thick rugs in rich reds and golds, handsome oil paintings hanging on the walls depicting all manner of things. It's very stately, it's very refined. It's a place of serious business and contemplation. Or at least it was, until you were welcomed into this room. The general looked at you and whipped his sword out. He bears down at you with his sword, extremely large, shiny, pointy.
Does he now?
Clarify, you mean a blade, right?
That's,
Yeah.
What kind of damage die are we talking about this one?
Penetrative.
Oh, right. That.
Yes,
D12, D12, yeah.
Anyway, he holds outstretched this massive great sword.
That it is.
Wow. That's one
Sure he does.
And he says to you, I need to know who I've hired. Do your worst. And then he pauses.
Wow.
Ooh.
Could we
Alright,
maybe...
that's a 19 on initiative.
He pauses and he says, though maybe we should not do this in my study. He kind of motions at the rug. I would get in trouble if that were ruined.
Oh my god, he's so
Lucifer ponders as who
baby.
exactly he'd get in trouble with. But thinks better not to ask.
I love him.
Maybe first sit down. We can do that later. And he motions to large chairs on the other side of his desk. 2, 3. The rest of you have to stand, so I don't know who's polite and lets you sit down. You can figure that out amongst yourselves.
That's
Irene will
quite a
not
long
sit.
sword you've got there.
He shrugs. I mean, it's a sword is what it is.
Do you
Nothing much
use
about it.
very often?
He looks blankly. Not particularly.
Can I wink at this guy?
You can wink at him, yeah. What are you trying to convey with the wink?
I'm really trying to give a wink, which would, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to wink in a way that he projects whatever he wants to see in the wink, and I quite like to know what he wants to see in my wink.
Oh, there's got to be a roll behind that. Come on.
Some sort of
all right.
inception winks.
All right, you're trying to solicit a reaction with a wink. Make a general charisma check with that ensorceling wink.
Okay. Ensorceling wink.
Yeah.
A 3.
A 3? He doesn't react at all. His face is completely blank. The vibes you get from this guy generally are he seems quite stern to you. He's pretty purposeful in the way he moves. Pretty composed as well. He doesn't really bat an eyelid at your shenanigans.
He doesn't seem lonely.
He doesn't seem lonely? Well, you can make an insight check without the wink to help you out.
Sure. I'll make the insight check and then shut up. 21.
He doesn't seem lonely. 21? I wouldn't say he seems entirely happy.
No.
He doesn't feel like somebody that spends his days filled with joy. We will send that much.
I'll spend the rest of my silent time looking for pictures of loved ones on his desk, or pictures of friends and companions on his walls.
Perception check.
Uh, 21 again.
He actually does have a few pictures of people in his study. One you're pretty sure is himself, though much younger. Seems to be a family portrait, in fact. Although you note that though he is flanked by two people, a woman and a man, their faces are scratched out in this painting. And it's just him sat in a chair between the two of them. As for his desk, there is one little sketch, in fact, framed of two younger people. Two boys, look to be 12, 13 maybe. A tiefling and a human boy.
Note all of this and gesture for one of my friends to sit down.
Lucifer resolutely refuses to sit down. He stands there.
What are the seating options in this room, Clued? I want to know what I'm picking from.
You have two pretty plush chairs in front of him, the other side of the desk. You have armchairs by the fire further away. There would be a fairly awkward yelling kind of conversation where you just sit in them. Otherwise, you get the sense you're standing.
Bray will throw himself down in one of the plush armchairs and make himself at home. Alright, this place ain't so bad. So,
Not.
you're General Montague, aren't you?
I suppose. General Montague, at your service. And he pauses after he says his own name and looks up at you.
Bray just kind of sits there, only now realizing perhaps you've been mispronouncing it. And he looks over his shoulder at the rest of the party to see their reactions.
Lucifer is mortified.
Oswald just happens to not be looking in the direction of Bray when Bray turns around and looks back.
Snake. Yeah, I mean that's what I said. I said Montague. Yeah. Anyway, we're here for your missive, and he'll hands the faded paper scroll over to you. That has the news of the invite.
I'm going to be clear on this one up front. I've hired a few of your sort to do this for me before. Nobody has returned from the vault. If you are doing this in the full knowledge of the dangers involved.
The transparency that.
Your captain mentioned that it was impossible for anybody on these isles to enter the vault.
Right.
Is that correct? So you have, given no one's come back, no information about what's down there.
I have limited information. The Divine Vault of Varsala is a fairly ancient structure. It is split into 12 segments, mirroring the 12 divisions of this world, Lakai. It is the 6th of the vaults that I am sending you into Most of the others we have full access to and know well. There are patterns between their construction, so I can give you a best guess as to what is inside. The sixth we have been unable to enter for the last 100 years. And I'm sure you will fill in the blanks that these 12 divisions mirror our worlds such that the sixth vault, being a mirror of... Well, he has a world map on the wall. You know very well the structure of your world. The disc-shaped mass of land that floats through the astral sea, split into 12 sections as the light of your guiding star, Horologium, shines through the realm's 12 different planes that rim the circle of your landmass.
They're kind of like Earth, right? Just like kind of like flat like that.
Yeah, just like Earth. Flat. Solidly flat. Big circle. 12 pizza slices, as it were.
Disc.
Jamie can explain this well better than I. The sixth vault corresponds to the sixth of the pizza slices, which I think you will all know to be the segment of the world that corresponds to the abyss.
Oh, marvelous. Can I ask actually, DM, is there one seat occupied and one seat free in front of the table currently?
Yeah.
In that case, Arim takes his seat, and as he lands, it's like clatter of a little bit of jewelry he's wearing. So you mentioned these are vaults. Sealed how?
Previously, they were sealed by, well, magical barriers, traps, keys, the usual. What the sixth is sealed by is... I can best describe it as a wall of divine energy, is what I will say. Nobody in these islands can pass through it, save for those not originally from here. It is...
But that is the only thing keeping people away from it is this barrier.
the sixth, yes.
And
I
whatever
mean,
resides
No
in the kills
doors,
people.
locks, nothing.
oh, I'm sure inside of the vault there are many of such. Entering the vault is... There are many vaults in the vault.
There's
There will
vaults
be
in
locks.
the vault.
There will be locks, there will be doors, there will be mechanisms. Keys. Of course, they're all shut inside.
And our mission is to clear it out or retrieve something in particular.
Your mission is to make it accessible for me. Of course, anything you find while you're in there is yours. I need to be able to get in there. And I can't.
We bring down the barrier, you come charging in, save the day.
I don't imagine you'll need saving. Not if you've opened it up.
Well, this is a good question, and Arim looks cross. And the others, what has been in there? There must be... You said traps. Is that it? Only danger.
Only danger, I'm sure, yes. Look, it's been sealed for 100 years. I don't know the exact layout of it. I don't know what they had in there when they made it.
Oh, sure. But think of these other places. There are other vaults. This one is 6. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even. Maybe many more. But
12.
beyond this, you said 12. But I
Mhm.
want to know, inside all of these, just locks, traps, nothing.
The Divine Vault was made to contain both money and power. There are effects for each of the vaults in keeping with the realm that it corresponds to. I suspect in the sixth that you might find artifacts of the abyss. abnormalities, one might say. It is a
Wait,
natural
wait. I'm trying to be direct with you. And is there any parchment on the table?
There is lots of parchment that has been written on. If you want to grab one of his like officious-looking documents and start scribbling, there's an inkwell right there. There's maybe a few
Anything
papers that
blank?
look half full.
Okay.
Also, he
in that
has a
case,
stack of
I-
papers that haven't been written on, like on the other side of the desk. If you want to like lean across and like grab it.
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah, he grabs one of those, puts his thumb in an inkwell, and just puts a line at the bottom of the page, and flips it around and slides across the table and goes, lists. Like, you be specific about this. There must be something, or there's nothing. Maybe there is monsters, evils, anything.
Monsters.
It's just locks and stairs and hallways. That's it.
There are probably monsters, yes, of course. And he says
Why
that kind
don't
of
you say?
casually, like, you know, whatever, man, it's monsters. This doesn't seem important to him.
And Arim sort of looks around to presumably everyone standing behind him like, you could say monsters, you can say this word. Huh?
Is there a reason you keep monsters in your vault?
I think they didn't keep it. In 100 years.
They put themselves there 100 years ago.
So,
Artifacts, things of the abyss probably aren't easily controlled. Whatever kept them there was probably delicate. This place changed 100 years ago. Much of what's down there probably with it.
What I suspect you will find in there. He pauses. The men who locked themselves in there 100 years ago and erected this barrier, they are known to me, of course. If they live, I very much doubt they will be the same people that put themselves in there 100 years ago today.
Well, we'll find what killed them.
Right. Let me emphasize that what you are doing is of great service to the Dread Isles at large. The sixth vault represents more than a door that we cannot open. The divine magics that are blocking it, powering it, something like a blockage in a pipe for us. You might have noticed disturbances on the way in. Magic crackling across the sky. These blockages are causing... We have leakage. It is disrupting what I will tell you is a very delicate ecosystem. It is causing problems for us, and it's worsening by the day. What has been an issue, a small one, for 100 years is becoming quite a large one. I am offering you 10,000 gold each to solve the problem, because it is very significant for the livelihoods of most that reside here.
That is a healthy, fine sum. But you can show us the gold. It's customary where I am from to show gold when you promise it.
Kind of looks around his study at like all the golden candlesticks and gold filigree on things and just motions around. Well, there is no shortage here.
How much is this study worth if you had to put a gold piece figure on it?
Oh man, does Mercy know about art pieces and all that?
I was, as a general question, I'm sure Mercy wouldn't, but Ahim might.
20,000 gold probably? 25 just in this room?
25
You reckon... So, okay, so my impression of D&D economy is basically based on how much I was told a ship costs, which is 25,000 gold. You reckon the contents of this room alone buy you a ship? The rest of this one house? Like, loads of ships.
how fancy is that ship?
I mean, that's like
Is it a
a
frigate?
galleon?
A galleon?
Pretty
Oh,
big. It's a
damn.
big ship,
We're
man.
talking like we just walked into the Tower of London, basically.
Yeah. This is a very, very nice house. The, like,
Some
age...
Sir Francis Drake Golden Hind shit.
Yeah, the age of this wealth is very apparent to you. Like, so you'll probably actually with the 21, like while you're scanning all the paintings in the study, you're also seeing like plaques underneath the paintings, right? You see an immense mansion, land, vineyards, which you see titled Montague Manor. This is not the same house as that. Clearly, there are like multiple properties going on for this guy, and that's a painting of a very nice looking one over there. There's one that looks like a more kind of beachy one, like a beach house, Montague Villa. Yeah, also large and very beautiful.
Out of curiosity, DM, is there any like pottery or earthenware on display?
Pottery and earthenware. There's some vases if you're after vases.
My boy
Live
does
flowers.
vases for a living. Like my boy does pottery for a living. Like
Okay.
it's important, you know.
Okay, yeah, no, this is very fine. And actually, I guess seeing as this is partially your livelihood, ceramics are something. It's not like one of Varsala and the Dreadal's main export, but they're very good for like stonework. So they have like a reasonable kind of pottery thing going on. They have a few brands which are really quite nice, and this is some of the like top end of it.
Cool. Would you feel investigating or inspecting would give anything away as to the vibe of the household, the history of where we are, anything that can be discerned from, you know how like you look at Grecian, ceramics, for example, and you see there's some kind of legend there of like a hero, Achilles, for example. Am I getting vibes from?
Yeah, we can do that. All right, you're an investigative guy. Let's make this an investigation. You can piece some clues together. Are you or are you a perceptive guy?
I'm more
Using your eyes,
perceptive,
using your brain.
unfortunately.
See, everyone's at me for not giving investigation rolls, and when I give one, you're like, actually, no, I'll take perception. No, it's
Look,
fine.
it's a monk. If it was a rogue, yeah, I'd have this covered, all right? Like, I planned everything. That's the one concession I made. The
Yeah,
one.
yeah. All right, use your eyes, make a
Alright.
perception.
All right, thank you.
I want to tell you
Well,
more.
arguably, because of the rules, if you have a proficiency in pottery, investigation or perception, you can gain additional insight when inspecting ceramics, uncovering clues others would overlook by spotting minor irregularities.
Okay,
Or history, I should say.
the pottery, there aren't irregularities in these pots. These are nice pots. There's nothing wrong with these pots. What was the roll? The number?
Yeah, let's do one of those actually. Let's actually make this official. Let's go perception, you said, right?
Yes.
It's generous, thank you. 23 there.
Kind and generous, God. A 23? Okay. Yeah, so 23. So you've sat in the entryway of this house. You've seen a lot of insignias, which you think must be House Montague, that seem to portend to scales, justice, a lot of reference in their motto to the law, upholding the law. And I think probably you might have seen on one or two scrolls or book titles the House of Law. You get the sense that House Montague, probably for its historical at least purpose, has played some role in upkeeping law in the country previously known as Sacramar, now the Dread Isles. Be that kind of peacekeeping, be it courts of justice. You get the sense like these things are generally the purview of this house. But none of that actually is on view in this study. So where it was present in the rest of the house, in this study he does not seem so interested with that stuff. Most of this seems to be personal effect. Like his extensive collection of ship miniatures. You get the sense maybe this guy might be a bit of a nerd for naval history more than anything else. Lots of like I read war books kind of guy, like Sun Tzu's Art of War and a little like podium sort of energy.
Let's Warhammer.
Yeah. Maybe he's a bit of a Warhammer guy, like the D&D variant of Warhammer.
God forbid.
Yeah. you like scanning for clues with the 23, right? Are you trying to figure out the history of like the house, this person, or like at large the city and like this whole why is this place now a spooky place?
I suppose it really depends on what's on display with the vase. I can only just look at it and attempt to derive meaning. That's all,
Mhm.
I imagine.
Okay. I'll give you well, the flowers are dried flowers, I'll say that much.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's I think with your perception looking for historical stuff. There are no like markings on the vase or pottery beyond like there are no like historical epics on these. I will say.
Namaste.
Yeah, voila. That was lore. Where were we in the conversation bit?
So
We discussed
information is
monstrosities, vaults. Sorry,
sparse.
go ahead.
Yeah. So information is sparse as to what we're walking into.
Mm.
But I suppose when do you need us?
You've slammed the mute button on yourself. You've silenced
Sorry.
yourself halfway through.
You've clearly want to test us in some way. When do you want us to start? What can you offer in ways of assistance?
Right. Well, I need to know that I am not sending you to your death, so I will personally see to it that you are fit for the task. If I let anyone who showed up on my doorstep into the vault, there would probably be a mountain of skeletons for you to comb through in the first instance, so let's
And
not
if we
do that.
failed,
If we fail, then enjoy your stay in Varsala. Short, though it will be.
It's
Tell
very
us.
honest of you.
insight check. No kidding.
You can insight check him. I mean, Vesper
No,
told you
I
weren't
think he's
leaving.
being honest. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mercy, were you speaking?
Could you tell us something about the previous contractors, General? What manner of mercenaries, adventurers, brigands, pirates, whoever you hired, what were their talents that we might learn how our predecessors failed?
Talents and weaknesses.
Interesting question. Pirates, yes, they have tried. We executed them before they set foot in the vault, so I can't tell you much about them beyond the fact they were boring. I've had mercenaries. Less. He kind of looks around at you. Less well put together than you, I will say. Ruder. I appreciate folk with manners. His eyes actually at this point rest on Osiris. Paladin. What god, can I ask?
Oh, well, that's really nice that you've asked what my god is. I mean, I could stand here and talk about it all day. Helm is my
Please
god.
don't.
I've been serving Helm for my entire life. It has been the most joyous pleasure I can think of. And unless he stops him, he will just keep battling on about Helm.
Yeah, he lets you go for a little while and says, yes. I only ask because normally paladins lead with their god and can't talk about anything else. But I guess that's still true in your case. Lots of paladins. Lots of people who just want to see what's happened to the White City. Tourists. Lots of tourists. Not so many fighters.
And what of arcanists, mages?
A fair few of those. I can't tell you how they died, but I'm sure that they did.
Will you be able to give an estimation of their competency at the skill of magic and their knowledge of arcane law?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 20, I think previous adventuring parties were probably like level. He kind of says, "Look, arcane ability isn't my specialty. I have absolutely no interest in spells, in runes, in whatever." He looks for a polite word to express his disdain for magic and how much it bores him. Whatever shenanigans they get up to, I leave that entirely to our Emperor. I could not tell you if these mages were competent or charlatans off the street, but I can tell you if someone's a good fighter or not. Some of you, maybe.
The reason I ask is because we would hate to be in a situation where we were faced with but an enchanted door and had no means to bypass it.
None of you are arcanists, is that right? His eyes kind of drag over Mercy, the monk. Rahim, also the monk. Bray, beefy-looking fighter guy. Ozrus, paladin, he kind of looks at. Pod, priest, maybe. And then Lucifer, fighter, and he goes, I see your point. That would be unfortunate. But I assume you've come because you think you can do it, so I'll leave that to you.
Perhaps it's what you've been missing.
Perhaps. Anyway, on that note, he scrapes his chair back. As he stands, like you were standing when you entered, sat back down for the conversation. You're reminded of really just how big this person is, right? He is very clearly a physical type. He does not look like someone. Yeah? Do you have something to say about that?
You just
Physical?
a physical
Physical?
type, and I just thought
Physical
about Pokemon.
Oh, you said Pokemon.
What do
Oh,
you think I said?
I thought, well, it's you guys. I thought you were about to make a debaucherous comment. I don't know.
We can behave ourselves from time to time.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's not true. Not even a little bit true.
A little bit.
Yeah, he like very clearly is not a paperwork person. And he almost like strides away from his desk with glee and like grabs this giant sword that like he doesn't have a holder. He just kind of like leans it by the side of his desk, and you can see like the more perceptive you see like just indentations in the wood. But he's just kind of clearly doesn't really care that he's just stabbing his own floor occasionally and like just letting it lean and scratch at stuff. It probably drives somebody somewhere absolutely mad. So. I don't mean to assail you when you step into my house, but I did say I need to know who I'm hiring. Should we take this downstairs, where we will not be damaging my carpet or my vases or my armchairs, and let's see what you can do.
Bray casts a longing look at the very comfortable armchair that he's in and gives it just a little kind of a gentle stroke back and forth on the armrest, and he whispers to it, "I'll be back for you, buddy." And he stands up reluctantly.
General gives you a
That's a
curious look. Do they not have armchairs on the outside, or...?
Not on boats, no.
Sure, we can add an armchair into your payment.
Oh, fantastic! This is the best! And he's gonna walk out the room, kind of flexing, getting ready for the fight.
Alright, he kind of leads you down the hallway. If you'll make sure you're on the roll 20. And out into a spacious courtyard. Again, fountained. The topiary is immaculate. These hedges have been clipped to within like an inch of their lives. Not a single leaf is out of place. The grasses are like actually kind of like ethereal. They're sort of pale, soft, minty green that sways slightly in the breeze. And in this fountain pool is a very large grey shark. When the general sees this shark, he rolls his eyes and goes, "Oh, I thought you'd left." And then proceeds to ignore the shark further. He stands in front of this fountain again, raises the sword and says, "Well then, on my honor, as General Montague, protector of Varsala, let me see what you're made of. And could we all please roll initiative?"
How close would you say he's standing to the shark?
Back to the fountain. 10 feet from the shark.
Great.
I'm wondering what you're scheming.
The other thing that I will point out to you is in the side of the courtyard, you see two very large. You think they could be panthers, maybe large black cats with multiple tentacled tails, sat lazily flickering every once in a while. And as they kind of see the general walk through, they kind of like raise their heads, let out little mules, and then sit back down. So, could you all put yourselves on the battle map? And let me remember how Roll20 works. We have this thing. Here we go. Yeah, so give me initiative rolls, and we will go from there.
I have rolled a 9 for initiative.
A 9?
Yep.
Okay. I'll say that you guys probably all start on this side down here.
19.
19, and let me add you guys to the
Of course
battle
you
map
did,
then, if
Jamie.
you're not.
I am screenshotting this. Please do not.
I think mine should have
This
come
man
through.
doesn't roll
Yeah,
below a 17.
I rolled a 13.
Okie
Fucking
dokie.
7 over here. It's
Continue.
dead.
I believe you, Jamie.
You can all continue to bow.
Just as I believe your 17 roll for dick size.
I will roll it. I will roll it again.
Fake
Don't worry,
AF.
Didn't I roll a nat 1 for that?
Can you add your own?
No, that's
thing
just
in
a
into
that's just
the
a furbolg
folder?
thing, alright? I don't know.
Yeah, we
You
can.
guys are being a bit racist.
Good.
It's not your modifier.
What are we missing?
I use it.
It's how you use it.
It's Luke's joke from last time.
Which we
Always
all know
makes
because
me-
it's in our TikTok, guys.
We're just gonna like rehash our same jokes over and over and over again.
Hey, the GM's
It
got
works
a
for
point.
like every sitcom ever, so
Yeah.
just go.
True.
Listen, DM's got a point. Let's plug that TikTok. Let's plug it. Go plug.
Wait, the face
follow
be taking
TikTok.
part.
Or
Oh my god, they're on the initiative roll.
They're chilling, man.
You might want to add the shark.
I'll add the shark. Yeah. Let me put the shark.
What are
in.
you planning on doing with this shark?
Maybe if you're if you're planning on
Alright.
charming the shark, I'm
gonna make friends with the shark.
I'm also planning on charming the shark.
Esky, what was that roll?
I rolled a 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. Well,
Unfortunately, my initiative's really low. So.
top of the round, surprising no one with a prodigious initiative roll, is General Montague. So his sword is going to flash ever so slightly a green, sickly color as the green light that sort of coalesced around you guys when he first landed on these islands start to gather around him in his kind of general space. And he says very quietly, almost under his breath, "Protect me, please." And on the please, like green sort of specters and wraiths start to fill the space around him. So I will put a little radius on. He doesn't move. He just looks at you guys and says, "Let's have it then." And that is the end of his turn.
Going easy on us. For now.
Okay. Am I up?
Yes. Could you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yeah, I'm also confused about the shark. Can you explain the shark again for me?
12.
The shark is hanging out in the water in the fountain. It's a large shark.
Like an actual shark.
Yeah, it's a shark. Yeah. Swimming around.
How big? Are we talking like
Oh.
a bull shark?
Yeah,
12.
we're talking maybe like a 10-foot shark, grey, kind of
Ooh.
scarred shark. 12 on your wisdom
Adult
save.
male great white.
Female.
Is this the filtered source in any way?
Okay, so on a failed save, you take 13 necrotic damage.
Okay, 13.
As kind of filling the space, these green spirits that seem to flit around the general start tearing at you. Like these hands start ripping at the edges of your cloak. They're kind of sharp claws digging into your flesh. It seems ethereal at first, and it just gets more and more intense the longer you spend in that space.
Okay, cool. Just gonna burn out, and I'm gonna use Fighting Spirit as a bonus action. I can give myself advantage on attack rolls and give myself 5 temporary HP. So I have advantage on this round,
Okay.
and I will. Oh wait, I've unequipped my sword. That doesn't seem smart. Yeah. So my first attack, an 18 to hit the general.
Sidesteps it.
Okay. Second attack.
So he is, to some extent, armored. Plates around his shoulders, a breastplate. You wouldn't describe him as wearing full plate, but it's very nice armor.
shit.
What you'll say.
Okay, I roll the exact same for the second one, which is crazy, so I miss.
Okay.
And then I will action surge.
Okay. He sidesteps once, sidesteps twice, and says, "Not bad." And he clearly doesn't expect the next few.
27 on.
Does
For
hit.
what? Sorry, we'll see this crits, which 27.
Mhm.
Which is a 1d6 and then plus a d8 necrotic damage. That's 11 points of slashing damage plus 6 of necrotic.
Okay. 11 slashing damage, and then how much?
6 necrotic, which I don't know how much he'll take.
Yeah, he kind of looks down, fairly unfazed as the slashing damage comes in. Then the green light sort of settles on him. It doesn't. The necrotic damage doesn't seem to do damage. It just sort of lingers, and he looks down and again under his breath says, "Oh, very funny."
And then I'm going to sheath my sword, take a moment, take a breath, and I'm going to use my birthday nat 20 to crit him.
Oh my god, yes, Jamie!
It's the anime moment where the incredibly thing, I kind of don't even sheath it. There's just a moment where there's like a whiff of wind that comes forward and cracks appear in the fountain as I not only crit him, but every creature within 15 feet of him.
Within 15 feet of him.
Every creature, like friendly or enemy, or
What are you doing?
Okay.
This is animal
Jamie!
cruelty. It's
You're
animal
out of
cruelty.
control.
Somehow includes Breck, Mercy, and the shark.
Wait, hang on.
It's not for her too.
I will say the shark's about there, right? Is that 15
I
feet?
asked if the shark was in 15 feet.
Oh, I didn't hear
10
that.
feet.
The shark can be there if you would like to hit the shark. I didn't think I was agreeing to that, but you can hit the shark as well. That's fine.
And Mercy and Breck.
Oh, Mercy and Bray.
There
So,
will be
Poon and I agreed.
consequences for
This
this.
only crits, like, you guys just take the damage. The crit is only on the general. So, sorry, I rolled a 9. Okay, 6. Sorry, 1d6. So he takes 6, 12. So it's not worth rolling necrotic, right? Or is he taking it?
He's not taking any damage from that.
No, okay, fine. So he takes 19 points of damage from the crit, and everyone else takes 6.
Okay.
Yeah, as I kind of took, and then I take 1 step backwards out of the green mist.
Okay.
As Bray gets hit by this, he shouts over to you, "Oi, fucking watch it!"
He turns around, not realizing I just sweat from his brow.
You have reached, Jamie.
No, I'll step forward to him.
You're in melee for that.
Yep,
Okay, I'm gonna take my attack of opportunity there.
Hey.
that's fair. I'm gonna step out of the thing.
23 to hit.
23 does hit.
Okie dokie, let me roll some dice. So that is 16 slashing damage, and then a further. Then.
To preface this, is the green thing everywhere? Can I avoid it? Because I'd only step out if I could reach out
15
of it.
15 feet of him, it seems.
15 feet, fine.
Yeah.
Then I am moving, yes, fine.
Yeah. Okay, so that was slashing damage, and then 11 necrotic damage.
Okay, cool. I will move my 30 feet back to here then, as I retreat back.
Okie dokie. Yeah, as
Thank
you
you.
kind of. Yes.
Sorry, you go ahead and finish. Just.
Yeah. So as you crit, so what you slice wildly in an area around you. You hit absolutely everything. It was kind of whirlwind of blade.
No. I don't even launch my rapier, and just the world shatters around it.
And just the world shatters around it. All right, everything is just cut. You don't see him move. He's so fast. How is he doing it? Oh my goodness.
Oh my
He's an anime protagonist.
Nice.
You take this hit on the way out as the general kind of almost takes one sort of slightly lazy sweep and cuts you kind of up from like navel upwards. And he says, "You have so much to learn, boy, but not bad."
Just sigh and like waddle away on sub 30% HP.
Oh god.
One of the extremely large flickering cats growls as it sees its seeming master get hit, but it doesn't move. Mercy.
Oh, okay. Mercy looks over his shoulder and sees Arheem about to spring into action, and says to him, as before, 1-2 combo, and is going to move towards the general till he's facing one side of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to use a bonus action to take the dodge action, using a key point.
Okay.
Patient defense.
And he, on guard, readies himself to dodge incoming strikes as he readies a counterattack, and I'm going to hold my action to do 2 unarmed strikes as soon as Arheem moves into range, and I'm going to do stunning strike on both of those.
Okie dokie.
Is that not a wisdom saving throw?
There is wisdom saving throw. Yeah, you started your turn here. Yep, wisdom save. You're quite right.
Wisdom saving throw.
Thanks, Jamie.
20.
20 succeeds.
DM that question.
When you still take half damage. Yes. You take 5 necrotic damage, Mercy. Your question, Arheem.
It is about the lighting in the room, and the question quite simply is there lighting and shadows in this room?
Is there lighting and shadows in this room? Okay, so I will say it's night by this point, by the time you get up here. Lighting comes through the windows of the house, however, on the ground floor. So yes, I will say there are shadows at these kind of points around the courtyard, and obviously there are small wee shadows in the base of the fountain, like by these statues. People cast a slight shadow. I'll say it's dim light. Does that make mechanical difference?
It does make mechanical difference, and that is all fine, thank you. I'm just drawing 4 purple squares to represent what you just mentioned. Does it sound about right?
Yeah, and then I'll say there's like a little shadow at the base of statues. Each person casts their own little shadow. And
Thank you.
we're getting geometrical now.
Mhm.
That's all. That will be all.
That's all? Okay. Alright. So, Mercy, you are taking patient defense.
Patient defense, and then holding an attack action.
Got you. Muddy.
I would like to use my movement to go to here. Wait, am I
Okay.
allowed to even do that? Can I? I can't. Can I move? Yeah. So. For some
Oh,
reason
I
can't
don't.
move my token.
Oh, yeah. I don't have you added to the thing. So let me.
Yeah. I just see an unnamed man, a little stick figure.
Yeah.
I'm actually an anonymous Microsoft Teams member as doing the fight.
Yeah, I didn't have your art when I spent the
Most
So you're a
powerful of
Microsoft
D&D
Teams.
characters.
You're a Teams colleague at the moment.
Karen from HR is doing the fight.
Yeah, HR is here. Okay, you should be able to move it now if you can't just reload it.
Yeah. So I move 30 feet of movement to go over here, and I can't. Yeah, and then as an action, channel divinity. You see Muddy kind of like grab his shield and like it begins to glow, and then he reaches it, kind of points it to the sky, and you see him mutter some words to himself that you can't quite make out, and he casts channel divinity, charm animals and plants, which is all animals within 30 feet of me must make a DC 14 wisdom saving throw or be charmed for 1 minute.
What's
that
the
shark saying, huh?
DC? What's the DC? I'm gonna roll this first.
DC 14 wisdom.
It succeeds. I don't need to answer my question.
Damn it!
The answer to your question is I think they are technically an animal, but you can still.
Yeah.
She has to roll, but that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what? What am I...
Jamie knows what shenanigans this is.
It's, by the way, it's charm animals and plants. I have to say.
And plants.
So if there's
Wow.
if there are any plants with enough
Oh, his
intelligence,
cats.
to,
His cats need to roll.
they need to roll. The shark needs to roll.
The shark-
Any
Oh my
any
God.
vegetation that might be in any way intelligent. There's any
One of
Chinese
the
chopping cabbage around that might
One
need
of the
to be.
cats nat 20s. The other one fails.
Oh, that likes Esty.
Yeah.
We'll say red cat is friend cat.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go, Marty.
All your cats are ours now.
Then I get funky music turns on just right as this happens.
Nice.
I feel like he's just swagger of it. I feel like a
I
JoJo
feel like
character
I'm
with
playing
this music.
Persona 5
Yeah.
actually. Isn't anyone else getting that energy?
Stand there like.
My stand is the cat.
Wait, that's JoJo. Okay, so you charm animals, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Let me just check if this is you start in this area. You didn't start in it.
I ran in such a way where I shouldn't
Oh,
have
when
been
you
within
enters
his...
it for the first time on a turn. So you are
Did I-
making me a wisdom save, yes.
Am I doing wisdom save? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this big
Sorry.
green circle is bad touch zone.
Oh, I can't see a green circle for some reason.
You can't. Can
No.
I can't see either.
Oh, why is that?
That is partly why I ran that direction. I just was not aware
Okay,
there was a big
well-
green circle.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me see.
It's alright, I'm happy to do the wisdom
One.
saving throw.
Oh,
See.
player permission C. There you go. Can you see that now?
Ah, okay. It was a 17 I rolled.
Why is by default it not turned on for players to be able to
Fuck
see
those,
that?
man.
That is silly.
Okay, I rolled a 17.
17. That's a success.
Nice. Yeah, but he just shrugs off whatever the bad juju is. You see him kind of mutter a thing, and then like a little pulse of almost like green nature energy kind of flies out, and then one of the cats.
Oh, you
really
still take half
perks
as much
up,
damage.
and they-
Half as much damage as.
Okay, how much am I taking?
You're taking 13 divided by 2, so it favors you. So 6 points off necrotic damage.
Oh, lovely. Okay. But yeah, one of the cats, the little ears perk up, and suddenly just looks very much more alive and interested.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming the shark doesn't look very interested.
The shark just keeps on swimming. It sort of flicks its tail. And actually,
How
you see,
wise is
the
this shark? How did
the
this
shark,
do this?
The shark does a little barrel roll, in fact. Like, you feel maybe slightly, like, mocked by the shark's flippancy about the whole thing.
He kind of just looks at the shark with a bit of a side eye, I mean, like, fine, don't help me.
Okie dokie, cool. Osiris, over to you.
Osiris is going to walk a few paces to the middle of everyone and he is gonna hold up his arm, and as his bonus action, a small brassy shield is gonna appear on his forearm, and it's emitting this same kind of very yellow, very piercing light from it. And after it appears, it kind of softens down a little bit. And at the top of his lungs, he is gonna yell out to everyone, "Praise be to Helm! I've never been around such a talented, such an incredible, such an amazing group of people. You're all so powerful." And he is going to cast.
I feel inspired, and I'm the enemy.
Rallying Cry. So everyone is gonna gain temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus my charisma modifier. So I will roll that.
Hell yeah.
Can you guys all see the bad green zone, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to be in the bad green zone?
That's a natural 1, so everyone gets 6 points of healing, temporary HP.
Better than nothing.
Osiris, you shout out to Helm, and you get the feeling that Helm in particular spits on you.
Oh my
well,
God.
well.
He knows what you're going for, and he says fuck off.
So after a very pitiful amount of temporary HP, and I feel like everyone feels like they should be really enthused, but it kind of falls flat, and after that he just looks around, takes a few steps back, and looks sheepish.
Nice. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Okay. The friendly cat. So a charmed creature, yeah, will act to defend someone that it's charmed by. I don't think that it automatically will attack its besto friendo master for it, right? It will defend
I
you as
genuinely
the
don't
charming
know.
person. So I'll say what happens is this giant cat, its tails are like literal tentacles whipping about. Its mouth is like slathering and open with giant teeth and these bright green eyes. And in fact, one of its legs is devoid of flesh and skin. It's just like a skeleton leg that seems to trot along happily. And this thing comes and sits next to you on its haunches. It looks up and it just purrs at you a little bit. It just looks at you with these big bright green eyes. You just purrs, the tails flicker, and yeah, that I'll say that's what its turn is. It just comes over to say hello. Dahim.
Ahim, message received from Mercy, makes
Oh,
his
wait.
way in.
Oh wait, sorry. Bray is 9 on initiative, but wasn't included in the sorting. So Bray. My bad. He's ahead of you.
No worries. Sorry, Arheem. So, much like an anime, Bray is waiting for his moment to strike, and the lingering after effects of Lucifer's attack suddenly reveal itself, and a tiny little slice on Bray's cheek starts to drip with blood. And in that moment, he's like, "Oh no, we can't be having this." And his stance changes on the ground, and with a subtle shift, and suddenly it's like almost like a crater like drops down in the ground as this like burst of energy comes out of him, and this like black ichor comes down his face and like covers like the top half of his face, and like black ichor starts to like come down like his hands, like almost like kind of like he's dipped his hands in ink, and he rages. And
Very sick.
after raging, he's going to launch himself at General Montague, and mid-air try to come down with his great axe right on top of him.
All right. Let's have it. Let's have that roll. What's the roll? Let's see.
It's a 17.
That's a 17. It's a good swing. There's a lot of power and energy behind it. But again, it's actually quite frustrating. This guy, for someone so large, moves so quickly and so elegantly. He just meets your sword up with a deft parry. And just sort of like his sword falls to the side. And he shrugs. Kind of doesn't look disappointed, but you know.
Cool. And that's my turn.
Do you not have 2 attacks as a level 6 barb?
Do I?
I think
You
probably-
100%.
You definitely have 2 attacks at level 6.
Really? I don't know if I do. Hold on.
I mean, if I do, you definitely do, my dude.
Well, I've
All
used
martial
my
classes get it at level 5.
I've used
Yeah.
my bonus action to rage, so
Yeah, but extra attacks, you just have them. They're just yours. Yeah, you have them.
not on my character sheet.
I'm the DM. You can have an extra attack. Fuck it, go.
Okay.
You get
Thanks,
an
boss.
extra. Sorry, you
I'm
get no.
sure that Barb's good.
You get an extra
at 5,
attack at level
and
5.
even if you don't,
All right, let's
You
go.
literally get you do get an extra attack at level 5.
I rolled a 15. Also
50.
misses.
Wait, 15 total?
Yeah, I rolled a 7 plus
Ouch.
8.
there's so much intent behind these strikes, and he's just like getting them all one by one with perfect form, and just saying, "Don't feel bad about it. You are young."
That's the end of my turn.
As
I
this-
will end in this green circle though, because I'm an idiot.
Oh, okay. In which case, yeah. Wisdom saving throw, please.
Cool. That is a 11.
11 fail. That's 12 necrotic damage.
Oofed.
Again, as these little ghostly shapes and screaming mouths gnaw at you from places that you feel maybe they just shouldn't be allowed to be doing that. Yeah, I don't know what I mean by that.
What does that mean?
That's less saucy than intended. It just
Wait, less saucy than I'm so confused.
yeah, I don't mean to you know like look. I'm sorry, if a spectral mouth nibbles you anywhere, you don't feel good about it. Like
You can DM me later, Clued. It's good.
That depends.
it doesn't
Why
need
you
to be
just-
so
Just a light one, a light
I was
one on
like,
the
that's
ear.
very situational.
Just a very
doesn't-
gentle one on the ear.
It just doesn't need to be saucy for you to feel violated. You know, when
God.
it's a ghost mouth, like it just anyway.
Hey, don't you kink shame
Swiftly
me.
moving on to Arheem's turn.
Oh my
Arheem.
God.
Yeah, cool. So Ahim, wait a second. What's the music saying? I lined up some bangers.
Yeah, where
Where's
are they?
bangers at? Yeah, let's
It's
just
an
try and
eerie banger, a spooky banger.
ain't the right bangers, but it is. What's all this? What's all this monstrosity of audio?
Oh, by the way,
No,
Twitch
okay.
chat, Luke is now in charge of the music, so if ever something subpar is playing, you can all flame him.
All right, that
This is not
This.
battle music, my friend.
go.
Oh.
Oh.
Yep.
Here
That's
we
some battle
go.
vibes. Repeat 1. There you go. Let's get in.
Sick.
Let's make it happen. Okay, in that case, Arim, again, somebody you've seen who has not bore a weapon on his person the entire time, but he's known as a workman. He has his workman's tools to him. And out comes, he puts his hand out to the right of his body, stood still, and a hammer appears in it, a light hammer, a small hammer. And he begins slowly to walk towards... what's our friend's name again in the middle of the green?
General
General
Montague?
Montague. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he begins
Monty,
slowly
Blasty.
and then breaks into a run and cuts at some serious speed at that point. And he's going to make it up until this location here.
Oh, whoa,
And I'd like to-
wisdom save.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a immediate. Was it the start turn, end of
Yeah,
the turn?
when you enter the space as well.
All right, fair enough. Won't debate that. Let's see what happens. It's a 10. How much?
14 points of necrotic damage for you.
Hey, boy. In that case, let's go all in. So I'm gonna take the attack action, and that is 2 attacks with this here hammer.
Wait,
Your
Luke,
hammer?
can I see if I can give Ahim advantage first with my held action?
Ah, of course, you had 2 attacks saved up, didn't you?
Well, you're making your attacks.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
not
I'm
playing
gonna make-
flanking rules.
I'm gonna play. No, but I'm gonna make them both stunning strikes.
Oh, stunning
Because-
strikes. Yes, they are. Yes.
Cool. First one's a 23.
23 hits. Miss it,
Second
JK.
one's a crit.
All
Oh,
right,
yes,
let's have
nice.
that damage, boy.
What
Okay.
NPCs?
First is 8 bludgeoning
8?
damage. That's
Okay.
magical. And the next one is 9. Again, magical. I won't add the necrotic damage, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Then that is also, I'm going to spend 2 key points on both of those attacks to make them stunning strikes.
Okay.
That is a DC 13 con save.
DC 13 con save. Let me look at saving throws. Wait. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna miss something.
Succeed.
Cool.
What were those rolls there?
23,
Oh,
28.
We haven't got much
Wow.
running him, I feel.
Wow, my guys.
I
My
will
guys
say-
got some. Mm.
These hits are finding purchase. Like he is moving backwards ever so slightly. Like he's a very solid person, and there's this like shift backwards as these blows like land on his chest. The stun effect, the way that like his armor plate almost vibrates. He looks down at it curiously, and it's strange. It's almost like his form sort of like flickers slightly, like it kind of moves ever so slightly with the like green light in it. It looks to you like he has so many tools in his kit that it would be very hard to stun this man.
So he's a bastard then.
No, he's pure-blooded Montague, actually.
Right. In that case.
So claims his mother.
So claims his
hmm.
mother. You're a bastard.
So in that case, I think what I best do is I'm gonna make a
Murder
special
him.
attack. And I'm going to make a contested athletics to knock him to his bottom, to push him over.
You want to knock
Yes.
him on his bum. Okay.
Yeah.
Contested athletics.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
No status effects. They're good in games. Oh dear.
That came out as
That's
a 20
a
from
20.
your boy.
You've really high rolled this. Okay.
Nice.
For brain the leg.
That succeeds.
Oh
He
wow.
succeeds,
Nice.
alright?
As he
What
rolls a
happens?
19.
Hey, on his ass.
does get up next
Motherfuckers
turn.
on his ass.
So,
Alright.
how are you doing this? Is this like a taking the shins out? Is this a...
It's if you've ever played Tekken and you've seen Yoshimitsu, what he does is he kicks one leg out. So my guy's like leant back on one leg and then comes down with the hammer. Not the hammer itself, but the bottom of the hammer, the pommel, on the chest and dashes him onto the ground prone.
All right, nice. This rings out on his steel breastplate, and it forces him down, and he looks surprised, like completely inflappable and poised so far. His eyes widen ever so slightly, and yeah, he's on the ground. Is that prone?
That is the prone condition, which means
Man's
melee attacks
prone.
have advantage,
Man's
ranged
prone.
attacks have disadvantage. Cool.
Oh, right,
And
right.
yeah.
It is just his go next.
Yeah, there's not a lot in it, is there? I can either try and run away and use disadvantage, or I can get some hits in with my lowly monk fist. And it's probably going to be lowly monk fist because
Yeah, we got a pile on this guy.
we got a pile of this guy. So let's drop a key point there to make a little bit of a mark. So see if we can get a hitty.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that key point going? There it is, baby. Let's make 2 unarmed strikes at this little juncture. So we're looking at 18, and we're looking at... Was that an 8 and an 18? I think it was an 8 and an 18.
Yeah, it's a natural 1 on the 8.
Oh wait, sorry. These are both at advantage, so I
These
get to
are
roll twice
advantage.
again.
So that first one misses. His AC is
Mhm.
higher than 18.
Cool. So let's go again. Which comes out at 20.
20 hits.
And I'd like to apply a stunning strike to that, if that's
All right.
possible.
What's the
Luke,
DC?
Luke, you have
Roll again.
advantage. Roll again.
I've rolled twice in that attack, so I've rolled 4 times in total
Yeah.
for those 2 attacks. That makes sense, I think. Unless I'm missing something, Ben?
You have a 3, an 18, and a 20. You can roll
Yeah.
that second one again in case it crits. Well, that last one, sorry.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Let's do that then. I thought I did, but let's make it happen.
No, I only see 3
Maybe
rolls.
it didn't come through.
Yeah.
Cool, I should do the advantage next time. So 9.
Nope.
Okay,
Good.
so 20 hits my guy. The DC, let's take a look. Fuck, where do I find it? I don't have spells. Stunning strike. DC 15. Huh!
DC 15. Yeah, with a 5, he succeeds comfortably.
What a little hang.
The
Alright, cool.
con
My guy
modifier on the
succeeds.
stat block is quite large.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's a very
I'm sure.
tanky boy.
So he's 15
Jesus.
feet to get there, which leaves me with 30 feet of movement still. And I'm probably going to risk that for a little biscuit. Yeah, cool. And I'm going to make a maneuver off in this direction. So let's do that. And I'll take the attack of opportunity as it comes at a disadvantage.
Yep.
He's used his reaction to attack.
He has used his reaction
Ozus.
already.
Ooh.
Yes. It's the end of your turn though, so we could use a legendary action. He's not going to though, because he's chilling. He's appreciative, I will say, on the ground. He nods as he stands and says, "Fine, better than I expected." He takes a few steps forward to here, I will say. So attacks
He
of
uses half of
opportunity.
his speed, by the way, to stand up.
Yep, that's fine. Attacks of
Right, fire.
opportunity from Bray and Mercy, if you will. If you wish, rather.
I used my reaction to trigger
Okay.
my held action.
Truth. Bray, will you smack the man?
Oh yes, I will. Let's go. I'm gonna roll.
I can't believe there are demon
It's a
lords with
26.
higher-
Does
You
26
hit him.
hit?
You hit him.
Oh my god, I'm so happy.
Please tell me you have Sentinel.
Probably not. Let me check this character sheet. No, I took tough instead of sentinel.
Respect.
Mistake. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna fucking hit him. So that is a
Hit him square in the score jaw.
that is a 14 plus 2, I believe, because I'm raging right now. Is that how it works? Let me check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you make a
so-
reckless attack? Oh no, you've hit him. Sorry, what doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I'm yeah, so 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Okay, he feels that when you slam it into his side, and his eyes dart down quite quickly almost. And he looks at you and he pulls himself off your axe with this sickening, like, kind of noise. And his eyes meet yours. He's like deep red, bright eyes. And he nods in polite respect as he continues forward, just pulling himself off your weapon. Okay. And as he steps away from you, some of these wounds begin to reform, knit together. You can see that as he stepped off your axe, it's already in the side beginning to knit back together. And the like slice across his cheek from Lucifer's anime samurai moment is already beginning to close. He steps into the center of all of you. He looks at Lucifer and says, "Now, was it something like this you were going for?" And he drops his sword to his side, right? And he disappears entirely. His form disperses in this red mist, which expands outwards in this 20-foot kind of sphere around you. You're just encased in this oppressive black-red presence, which darkens the space around you. and these thin red slices appear vertically where you're standing, whooshing towards you. Could I have dex saves from everyone, as the space around you is just sliced, be it by sword, by like sheer physical presence of something just coming to cut you in half?
Oh, sorry. Not that it's going to hugely matter, but he actually takes an additional 4 points of damage from me from
Okay.
dueling. I completely forgot about. Sorry. Not that
Okay.
it's going to matter.
No,
I'm pretty
that's
sure I
cool.
failed that dex save pretty hard with a 4.
Can I see the
shit,
effects
at
that is
11.
causing this dex save?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and you hear in this kind of like this formless, aerialist voice from around you, just saying, "Watch your feet." As you all throw yourselves to the side to dodge what's incoming. So we have an 18 for Mahim.
19.
Passes. 19 passes. 25
11.
from Mercy passes. 11 fails. 6 fails. 13 fails.
What?
Um,
Oh my god.
F.
So let me roll these guys.
Oh, sorry. What's his movement speed?
Does this count as an attack?
I'm doing maths. I will answer
No,
your
no, no, no.
questions later.
Sorry, it's relevant to the question. It's relevant to the maths.
His movement speed is 35 feet. He
Okay, so that's
was-
actually reduced by 10
This is
because I hit him. When
Why does that
and he-
reduce movement speed by 10?
because I have the slasher feat.
Slash.
And also
Okay.
because I scored a
Somebody.
crit, he actually is grievously wounded, and he has a disadvantage on all attack rolls. Not necessarily that's relevant.
This
for
isn't
that,
an
'cause he's
attack
getting-
roll.
That's fine, but the
Okay,
first
so
one is relevant.
but with the prone condition, 35 feet half.
Mm.
He has 15
Yes.
feet of movement, reduced by 10, in fact. So he actually has 5 feet of movement.
Apologies, playing a new character.
So we'll say actually he gets to here, which means that I think Lucifer is
Hey.
safe from this. So actually it is just. Let me just quickly consult the stat block. Can I actually just move a bit further? I probably can. There's a lot on this. Oh, speed's 40 foot for starters.
2010.
Lydiums.
Yeah, it's fine then. 40 minus 10.
You can go
Half is
there because he
15
is
free
not
squares.
encumbered by enemy spaces, so he can move through people. So the only person safe from this is Lucifer. Well done, Jamie. You've saved yourself.
That's all I ever do.
Okay, back to my maths. 15, 19. That is 41 points of slashing damage for anyone who failed, as the space around him erupts in this violent red mist. Anyone hit by this, you feel vivisected almost, as this massacre ability just like cuts through you so quickly that your blood ejects itself out and just vaporizes around you. And he reforms in the center of you, his his sword held lazily at his side. He looks up at Lucifer and just sort of like cocks an eyebrow. It's been a while since I've done that. I enjoyed that, thank you.
Wait,
So who's down?
Yeah, who is down?
Is it half damage on a success or no damage?
On a success, it's no damage at all.
So how much was a fail again?
41.
41 points of damage.
that's rough, man. I wouldn't. If I didn't dodge that, I would be down.
Yeah.
I am close to being down, but I'm not down.
Is Ozra's
Yeah.
dead?
With a squeak, Ozrus is just collapsed on the floor.
Oh no.
He didn't really get a chance to even process what's just happened before he's completely passed out.
I should have saved my reaction to help you. I'm an idiot.
Okay. It's his go still?
No, he's chilling. The shark
DM,
swims
sorry,
around
can I
in a
ask?
circle. Yeah.
When he did that, did he make a sound? Did he say words?
Did he say words when that happened?
Did he make any kind of mouthing of things?
You're asking if there was a verbal component to this? No. it's
Either
not
a
spell.
verbal component in the traditional sense, or if that's at least part of, for example, if it's like a banshee screaming, which requires
No.
the scream.
No,
Okay,
this feels like the full-on physical prowess of an 100-plus-year-old vampire who in life was an exceptional fighter and in death is an even better one.
Yeah, classic.
Remember your temporary HP, by the way.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Oh yeah, I mean it helped. It kept me alive. But...
And in fact, now feels like a good time for a break. So, at the end of his go, with half of you vaporized, shall we reconvene at 15:15?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
See you in a bit.
We are back, and I'm ready to kill my players. Let's go. Okie dokie. I think when we left it, combat, we have a shark swimming around a fountain. Actually, on the shark's turn, Osiris, you hear a throaty chuckle, and take 9 HP.
Wait, what?
Have 9 HP, just have it.
Oh, thanks. I guess Ozra just confusedly gets up.
Something. Drop some healing on you. You don't know.
Actually, can I get up, or do I need to use my next action to get up?
Yeah, you're prone but conscious.
Okay. He opens his eyes then, I guess.
Lucifer.
Does he look like he's continuing the fight? Point hasn't been made.
Down currently on the ground.
Pardon?
Who is currently down? Osiris was.
Was Osiris the only one on the ground?
41 points of damage. Who took that?
No.
Moddy? Are you still alive, my friend?
I did, but I'm still standing. Admittedly on very low HP, but I am still standing.
Yeah,
It is
everyone's
nice.
Still standing.
He like huffs a little bit as Osiris gets back up, and he casts his eyes back to the fountain and just goes, "Really?" But doesn't seem to make further
Who
comment.
is this shark? I must know.
The shark is clearly important, and I don't think it appreciated that I tried to charm it.
The shark is a key item.
So we'll say, like, breathing heavily. Clearly didn't expect us to touch you. You could clearly kill us all. Is this fast not over? And he will cast Hexblade's Curse, and also Second Wind.
Explain. Okay, fighter.
So will heal himself for 14 HP, and like a little tiara of purple will appear on Monty's head and just sit there as the Hexblade's
You're giving Monty a tiara?
Yep. As the Hexblade's curse appears on top of it.
Cute.
And I'll sheathe my sword again after saying that.
Okay. Is that an action or a bonus?
They're both, well, action and bonus action. I'm casting
Oh,
it.
you second winded. Okay, cool.
Second winding and Hexblade's curse.
Okay. Friend cat. Is it
Sorry.
friend?
I will move slightly further away as well.
Yep. Friend cat continues to sit at Moddy's heel, and in fact, maybe starts licking some of his wounds. It starts nuzzling your hand, and it's a really big cat. Like it's pretty strong as it nuzzles you. It kind of like
Yeah, whatever just happened.
I didn't mention this, but the entire like god of this realm is actually that cat.
oh cool. So good for you.
Yeah, so like obviously this huge slice, like almost killing Muddy, like knocks him down onto one knee at the very least, when he's kind of like holding his shield up, his arm kind of shaking a little bit, and as this cat comes underneath, he just kind of gives it a little bit of a pet, looks down at the ground and goes, "Oh, that fucking hit hard," and stands up.
Okay, Mercy, it's you're up. Moddy's up after this.
Mercy's up.
Oh yeah, you've actually just started your turn and the scary green shit. So let's have a wisdom save.
Okie dokie. 19.
Succeeds. So half of this. 5 points of necrotic damage.
Okay. The inspiring magic of law and order from Osiris protects Mercy from. I'm getting my characters confused. Protects Mercy
Hey, that's me.
from the whatever green kind of spooky hands this dude has, and still got some temp HP left. Crikey, we're not a good way. I'm just gonna hit him. I'm
Nice.
just gonna hit
I'm just gonna hit him.
I'm
Hit him,
just
Leonard.
gonna hit him.
Hit
Natural
him,
one.
Leonard.
Nice.
21.
Yes, yes.
Come on, Leonard, let's
That-
go.
4, 6 damage.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Gonna
Are you
burn the
moving?
key point. Gonna burn the key point. I'm gonna hit him again. Another
Nice.
2 unarmed strikes. 19,
Hits.
17.
19 hits, 17 does not.
Up.
Okay, another 6.
No. Another 6.
Okay, again, you crack on his breastplate. He moves ever so slightly, like it's hurting, it's hitting. He looks, I'll say, still somewhat unfazed, but he doesn't look bored, we shall say. Like he's paying attention to what you're doing.
Cool. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Waddy. You stand up, you've got a cat nuzzling you. It's maybe dribbling slightly on your shoe.
It's very nice. Moddy, like, before as he's standing up, you see him kind of lift his shield again, and it glows as he casts one of his healing spells. I'm trying to think which one. It's gonna be the best one. Just yeah. I guess. What's my highest level? Yeah, he casts healing words. Not a healing word, actually. No, it must be a better one. I don't take any decent fucking healing spells. Actually, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Actually, I'm griefing a little bit. Give
Oh,
me a second.
could you?
I didn't realize I griefed
Trail.
my character sheet a little bit. In that case, actually, I don't know what his wisdom's going to be like.
Gonna be high, man.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, I apparently only have healing words.
A good one.
What's Actually, it's too far away. Why did I not take any other healing spell? Like, am I actually? I meant to put a healing
Not
spell.
Cure Wounds?
But... Yeah, I don't know why it's not on my thing. I should have Cure Wounds here. Like, I've clearly misclicked. Let me find Cure Wounds and just put it on because. Oh yeah, sorry. You know why? Because it's undone a bunch of my prepared spells. That's why. So let me just find Cure Wounds so I can actually calculate it properly. Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize Cure Wounds. I slipped off my prepared spells. Yeah, so
worries.
Cure Wounds third slot on honestly on myself considering my HP, which is going to be a 15 healing.
Mhm.
And
Whoa! Actually, before all this, sorry, you are.
in the green shit.
You're gonna get hit by. Whoa, no.
Am I in the green shit? I'm like on the edge of the green
You're on the
shit.
edge of the green ship. We'll consider you fine from the green ship.
Ooh.
Fine. Go on.
The DM is feeling merciful.
Yeah, I'm a
today.
kind and generous god today.
Yeah. Are we? I'm assuming we're playing the thing where one spell per turn, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Do I have? Yeah. So I would like
No,
to
you can
use.
bonus action it. No, you can bonus action it.
Yeah, but
No,
I can't.
do it.
I can't bonus action healing word after using cure wounds, right?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
I'm the
Alright,
DM, you can do it.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I'm actually just gonna.
Bonus action spell, you cast that thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then as a bonus action, cast a healing word on myself.
I'm throwing a
Which is-
giant CR at
It'll
you.
be 10.
You can do whatever
Yeah,
you
I
like.
mean, fair.
So I just knock my healing up decently. So he just like kind of bathes himself in kind of golden greenish light and mutters words to himself, and seems you see some of his kind of wounds begin to close a bit, and he looks a bit healthier as he stands up.
Okie dokie. Osiris, you are, however, in the bad touch green zone. Can I have a wisdom saving throw from you, please?
Why?
Mm,
Okay. 23.
Succeeds. So you take half off.
9 HP, right?
8 points of damage.
So 4, whereas 8 halved.
No, as in you take 8 points of damage.
Oh.
What are
Okay.
you doing with your turn?
So. Did you say I need to use my action to get up? Like, can I take an action?
Half
or-
your movement.
Okay, so Osiris is gonna get up, look around, sort of do a pathetic, "You've got this, guys," and he is gonna cast Cure Wounds on himself.
What to heal us? Just immediately have to just heal ourselves.
Okay. Why do I not have Cure Wounds? Okay, 1d8. Two. What's my spellcasting modifier? I forget this.
That is your charisma for Paladin.
Charisma plus proficiency. Whatever your charisma saving throw is.
No, your spellcasting modifier is just your stat.
Yep, sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's 7 points of healing.
Nice.
And he is gonna move away. Oh
He
no,
runs.
wait, can I?
Run, yeah.
Yeah, I can move all the way. I can move back there. Cool. Yep, that's insane.
Nice. Free my leg.
He is going to close the distance between himself and General Montague with his axe, and not quite. He's gonna hit him with a 26.
Hits.
Hell yeah. And that is an 18 for damage
18
with my
points.
first attack.
With you. Okay, 18 points of damage. Yeah, you come down hard again, hitting him in the same point that you hit earlier. And again, it finds purchase, and this wound may be half healed on his side. He gets hit again. He looks down with a slightly stoic but muffled fuck.
And as he like hits him with his axe, he's gonna kind of like lean in close to like Monty's face and say, "Is this not enough for you?" And then he's gonna hit him again.
Nice. Nice.
And an 18, which I suppose.
Oh, it's close. It like glances off, and he almost doesn't parry it in time, but he manages to catch your axe midair, kind of just in between his hand, and he kind of looks at you down, and like he's looked pretty like neutral, I would say, throughout this encounter, but getting hit hard a few times, his eyes have slightly like widened and brightened in the intensity of the red, and his mouth kind of curls into a smile. And he says, "No, no, I don't think it is."
Does he look a tiny bit cute with his tiara?
Oh, he's got a tiara on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll
Nice.
go with yeah. It's purple, right? Little purple
Yep,
light.
purple. Yep,
Yeah,
purple
nice
tiara.
little purple highlights on the old cheekbones. They're very high, very sculpted, very rugged features. This guy.
Nice.
Nice. Cool. And because I don't think Bray will have learned his lesson, I think he'll stay in the green again. So that's the end of my turn.
Bray is not the kind that learns lessons quickly.
Oh, I didn't have you roll a wisdom saving throw, did I?
I will do it now. That is a 13.
Okay, that's a fail. So you're taking 18 points of damage, necrotic damage on that one.
Points of damage. Cool. We're good.
All right. Friendly cat has gone. Unfriendly cat growls at Bray.
Ooh.
That's very unfriendly. Not gonna lie, I'd be.
Can't have that, bruv.
But won't move. Arim.
Areem.
Actually, do you know what? Goaded as such by Bray, we're going to take our legendary action.
Nice.
He catches the axe midair. Is it enough for him? It isn't, as his sword comes up and he thrusts it straight forward, up towards Bray's navel.
Yo. What's the hit?
20.
That hits.
Okay.
What kind of damage is this?
It's slashing.
Okay.
I
have
rolled pretty
resistance-
well.
I have resistance to
19
this.
slashing damage.
Okay, so that's halved to 9 or 10?
9
Okay.
plus 11 necrotic damage.
Okay. So 20 points of damage. Cool.
You still standing?
We still standing.
Good. Alright, cool. Arim.
Areem, probably in like a 3-point landing stance at this point, stands up and goes,
Okay. Enough of your games.
and I'm going to use my action to cast Darkness underneath the Monsieur General Montague, right between his leggeth on the flooreth. And so that's a 20-foot radius of darkness there. However you want to represent that on the map du battle.
20-foot radius, yeah?
So it's like an extra 5 feet larger than that current radius.
Okay. Let me just that's 10 feet. There's 20 feet up here. I'll move this guy after.
And it's magical darkness, of course.
Radius, though.
Oh, like a sphere, like a
circle, yeah?
ball, like a ball, half in the ground, half over the ground, spherical, yeah?
Oh no, guys, I can't select the circle. Oh no,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so
you
you're
got it.
casting it on him, yeah?
Right under his feet, yeah.
Okay. Magical darkness. So this means that folk have disadvantage on attacks they're making in there. They can't see anything that's going on.
Yeah, and also because people can't see one another, traditionally attacks of opportunity can't occur because you need to see the people to make the attack.
Yep.
So
Okay.
if Mercy and Bray were to move away, they would slip away unmolested in the traditional sense of the word.
They would. Yeah.
So, your boy is gonna make a good old. Just count the feet, you know. We don't want to fuck it up for counting later. 10 feet. Let's burn 10 of that 45 to make it into 5 feet there, and I'm gonna make a single
You're
attack as a bonus
entering
action.
scary zone.
I was in the scary zone. So how does that
Wisdom
work?
saving throw.
Oh dear. 17.
Succeeds. So
Good
half
life.
damage. Half damage on 1, 4, 6, 5 points of damage for you.
5 points of damage à toi. Alright, we're living, we're still moving. With that, I'm using my bonus action to take that one attack that I can make that one. Is it an unarmed strike or is it? Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's make that attack
How are
right
you
there.
seeing in this magical darkness to make this attack?
So I have taken a feat called Fighting Initiate, and I've taken the blind fighting option, which means I can see anything without sight within 10 feet of me, as if I could do, and I can see invisible creatures within 10 feet.
Very sick.
So I can see everyone in 10 feet of me.
Very cool.
And so I'm gonna make that attack with advantage because I'm an unseen attacker, presumably.
You're not.
This has gone so wrong.
I regret to announce that as you're moving close to him, you can see him, and he can very clearly see you, as you're very aware of him turning to you and looking you straight in the eye as you make this attack.
It's the Superman and Justice League the Flash thing.
Blind sight, one might say.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, does that no? That makes him Henry Cavill, not Ezra Miller.
Yeah. No, that's another one that gets his shit punched in.
Good.
And
You're in
so at that
danger.
point, it's probably apparent the motherfucker can see me, right, through the darkness.
I think with blind sight, you know he sees you.
Such evil Henry Cavill vibes right now.
In that case, Arim probably his face is gonna, from a determined fighting, as he's in his stance, determined fighting face is just gonna sort of soften slightly and just be like, I don't know why you do this. And he's gonna make the attack anyway. So let's make that standard non-advantage attack. And we roll up to 25 to hit.
You hit him?
Cool. Let me make sure I've burnt off those 2 sorcery points first. Sorcery. Wrong class, moreover. 2 key points burn. And let's make that attack for damage. We'll make it, why not, with a light hammer. It is 8 damage.
8 damage?
Sorry, no, forget it. That'd be an unarmed strike, 8 damage. Obviously magical damage. And I'm gonna spend another sorcery point to make it a. No, not even worth it. Yeah, cool. Just that 8 damage. Just magical bludgeoning.
Sorcery point.
E point, pardon me.
Okay, all right. What multi-class is this that you've thrown at me? All right, cool. So that crack of damage again hits him in the center of his chest. And in the darkness, nobody else sees this, but you two lock eyes. And he kind of leans into you and says, "Do you know, you're not the only one comfortable in darkness." And he will take.
With those words, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, do you have anything else on your turn? Are you done?
I was just gonna say, with those words again, as Arin kind of softened before he gave his last resigned blow, he'd probably drop the magical darkness at that point, and as it's diffusing, yeah, this happens as you say.
Okay, so as the darkness drops, everyone's attention is back on this. He's gonna again use his legendary action just to take a hit. That is a 28 to hit.
That's a miss based on absolute lies.
Based on your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. So.
Based on vibe.
I feel like that hit actually.
Yeah, it's giving a hit.
17 slashing damage. Are you still up, or do you want me to roll necrotic as well?
Listen, you do what you need to do.
Okay, so slashing damage, and then 15 necrotic damage.
Yeah, so that's put me on my my bottom. I'm currently on the floor.
Okay, this blade goes through Arim's chest, kind of straight through, and this greatsword is like 7-8 foot in length. It is absolutely massive, if I have not emphasized that enough already. It is an outrageously large sword in steel that nobody really should be able to lift. And it goes through your pretty slight friend's chest, and he watches he crumples to the ground. And again, it rolls around to his turn. the magical darkness is dropped. You can see him in full sight. And he wipes actually a little kind of bead of blood from his nose. He looks around at Bray, Arim, Lucifer, Mercy, those that have got a solid hit on him. And he says, like I said, it's been a long while. And his face kind of cracks into like this smile, and it's not just like a pleasant smile, it's something actually quite feral. As that same kind of oppressive presence that you felt earlier when he kind of dissipated into that blood red intensifies. Out of this green mist, like the diffractions of that like sickly kind of necrotic color, project themselves onto him. And where he's wearing maybe half plate, you start to see massive plate armor just forming out of the mist on him, like one after another after another. It's like a think anime transformation sequences. We go on right here, like vast amounts of black filigreed armor. His sword sparkles and glows this bright green color. And the kind of pressure in this area just drops significantly. And those of you still up, maybe you feel a little bit sick almost.
Is this the filtered sauce?
Jamie, no, it's
Okay,
not,
sorry.
Jamie. Take your lore knowledge away from him.
No, you've made me immune to it. I need to keep asking.
And he raises his sword. It shines these kind of bright beams of green energy. Who's closest to him? We'll say Arim. Well, no, Arim's down. Bray is probably the next person. Twirls his sword in his hand, and he slams it into the ground. Mm-hmm. And he chuckles, and he says, "No, I'm kidding. You're good enough. Fine."
I thought he was gonna go for me.
And he looks at Arim on the ground. Is it just Arim on the ground currently? The green mist around him dissipates. The spirits and the low key wailing that had been gathering around him subsides. He looks around you and says, "I think you'll live, probably, at least. That was fun. Let's do it again sometime." He says to a bunch of people that probably did not have very much fun.
Now Lucifer attack. Look.
And the pool around him ripples. This shark that had been previously swimming about absentmindedly has maybe stopped its circular swimming to just watch what's going on. It pops its head out of the water and it materializes into the large orc woman that you saw come down from his study from upstairs. She steps out of the pool, the water clinging to her and kind of forming in these droplets which sort of seem to rise with her and then fall back down into the water. Again, this immense and large figure towers above him, actually. For an exceptionally large human, this woman is even taller, like super muscular, rugged, like leathery skin, practical kind of linen wear, shark teeth up in her hair in an array, like this intense, like quite dry and unkempt hair, kind of flying out from behind her head, steps out the pool and says, "Oh man, I was enjoying watching you have fun. It's been such a long time since you've looked like you've enjoyed yourself." And she like slams the general on the back, and he like moves forward slightly, almost like as much as hard as you'd hit the guy. Like this woman has a lot of force behind her bro slap. And you all feel this kind of wash of magic come over you as you regain 25 hit points. As this kind of like quite calming, actually, kind of water seems to spiral out from the center of her hands and just sort of come out in this dewy sort of bright mist around you that seems to kind of dissipate any of that red greenness that was hanging around.
Without vettering too slightly, would we put Aldous Ball's Wavecaller Druid all together? Are our characters smart enough, or?
I'd say as humans of average intelligence, Wait, do any of you have a positive int modifier actually? Can
Yeah,
we just...
yeah. I've got 15 in intelligence.
Do you?
I don't have a
Wait.
stat below 14.
Oh, Jesus.
I have a 16 in intelligence.
Okay, well, you
Got an
guys are actually
8.
really smart. So you probably clocked that the shark was the druid before all of this. The rest of you guys maybe are like, oh yeah, people can turn into animals. Yeah, she did say she was hanging around. And then maybe the smarter of you cast your minds back to Vesper in the carriage, mentioning the wave caller, the Dread Emperor's meteorologist, the woman that keeps the weather stable, the vineyards happy, and apparently just seems to control the general ambience of the island.
How
She has clearly been hanging out in the general's fountain as a shark for whatever reason she seemed to deem fit.
we voted to go into the vault, didn't we?
Well, you've not spoken about it officially as a party.
No, I think we have.
Not as a party,
We
no.
spoke about it out of character.
As human beings, out of
after
character,
the session
what you're going to
ended.
do.
We were like, what are you
Yeah,
doing next?
we-
So you are
Right, fair
observing
enough.
this woman who, earlier in the day, it was proposed to you that you kill to distract the Dread Emperor. She kind of laughs quite heartily, and it's kind of like, you know, like the taller friend giving like the shorter one a little noogie and like ruffling her hair. That's the energy that she's giving you as she like slaps the general on the back and is like cooing at him, being like, "Oh, did you have fun? Yes." And he's just sort of like, "Yes, it was good. I thought you left." Looking somewhat crestfallen. Party. What are you doing?
How smart do I think it would be to mention Vesper in this moment?
Do you want to betray her?
Is that a wisdom? Is that a DM role? Like,
I think that's a personal player choice.
that's fair
Jamie.
enough. That's absolutely fair enough.
A woman of these islands told you that she had a plan to kill the druid standing in front of you, fully knowing that it would upset the Dread Emperor enough that she thought that you and her would be able to escape off the back of it. Whether or not you think it's a feasible plan, maybe you think it's a pretty stupid one, maybe you think it's actually just something you don't want to do morally, maybe you like them, maybe you like the people that you've been hanging out with. I don't know. I think that's up to you, Mr. Player.
Okay, you guys. can
You
go.
were told that, you know, if you were to help Vesper kill the wave caller, you would be meeting Vesper at the barge wharf at midnight tonight.
The tiara fades.
Yara Fates?
Bray kind of like rolls his shoulder back and then kind of like sheaths his grey axe back on his back and says, "Well, that was a good warm up, I suppose." And he kind of, if General Montague lets him, Bray's gonna try to like punch him lightly, like on the shoulder, like kind of a friendly kind of like nice one,
Stunning
buddy.
strike.
He doesn't move, he doesn't dodge it or anything, he lets it happen, yeah.
Cool.
He looks at you with a little smile and says, "A warm up?
Yeah.
Alright." He kind of lets it slide.
Areem probably stands up off the ground from his previously deceased pose, dusted himself up and goes, "I don't like a liar, Bray. We were fighting for our lives."
Speak for yourself. I was fine.
I speak the truth.
Is
You
Bray
need us to
talking...
go in there.
Is Bray talking confidently there, or is he talking through like 5 HP, blood everywhere kind of energy? Like,
No,
how's Bray looking?
He's looking all right, actually. Even before he got
Nice.
healed by Kazra.
Tough.
Tough boy.
Mercy would be kind of helping Areem up, and as he was doing so, he would say in his kind of gruff Atropos voice, "Don't worry, there was no danger of you dying today. At least, as far as I could see."
You don't know that. Then again, I told you we don't like this one. Why are you talking like this?
Monty chuckles and says, "Look, I only would have killed you if I thought you were pirates, so you were fine. I just wanted to know I wasn't sending more people to their deaths. I hope I'm not this time. You are better than the rest." And don't
If I
feel bad,
can
I am
inquire,
old, so I've had a lot of practice.
if I can inquire, what did you gain from this?
Not very often I get to have fun. And assurance. I don't particularly like sending foreigners to their deaths in my vault.
Insight check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, alright, go on.
Bro,
It
and
attracts unwanted attention.
100%.
8. What is that? Like,
You
yes,
can't
yes,
read him.
yes,
You can't
yes,
read him.
yes.
Stoic, old, you don't know.
15.
13.
13, again, guy's pretty hard to read. 15? You don't think he likes sending people to their deaths?
It's a 23 from Osirus.
23. You don't think he likes sending people to their deaths?
He
But
loves
you also don't think he feels too bad about it either.
it. Okay.
Well, I hope that you were not disappointed by what you saw. Judging by our performance, those pirates must have lasted a matter of seconds.
Yes, when they woke up, they were in the stockades. I will, happily, send you in. And let it be known that should you succeed, the stipulated 10,000 gold apiece is still on the table. Anything that you find in the vault will be yours.
We were perhaps warned. We've clearly proved our value to you. We were warned we may not be able to leave. We'd be allowed to live. But leaving might be difficult. What's your
Are they-
opinion on that, General?
At this point, the druid cuts in immediately. She catches onto what you're saying. She says, "That's interesting. I don't imagine that little Collifer said that to you unless he's betrayed you, huh, Monty?" She, like, elbows
No,
her.
the captain did. A return trip has not been arranged. She said people don't come back. Want me to roll?
Yeah, please do.
This will be right. So it's the truth, but there's something that I'm hiding. Do you want perception or
Trying
deception?
to hide something.
Because it's the truth. The captain did say that, but there is a lie underneath it.
I think you are trying to be deceptive here. Yeah,
Fair enough. That's
you
completely
know what you're doing when you say that.
reasonable. 7. Fuck.
Wait.
Bro,
Clue, but what? Sorry, what? Just before you tell Jamie the answer.
yeah.
Oh, you fated this.
Go on,
How
Ben.
important is this role? If they figure out we know more, than if they figure out that you've lied to them, what are the, just out of character, what are the stakes? Is this worth a lucky?
I think it is.
So, okay. DM speaking to players. You are in a place, a regime, of undeath.
Yeah,
that
this is
lasted
North
for
Korea.
100 years. You got a weird vibe from the city so far. The people you've interacted with so far have been nice to you, but you know that they want you to do something for them they can't do themselves.
Yep.
How important is that to them, and what will they let you get away with? And also, what's it worth to you?
Pyongyang vibes.
Seemingly.
Player?
Seemingly important. They're actually being under attack by the energy.
Let me get the music.
Quite
Okay,
flagged out.
Jamie, roll again. This is Pyongyang.
Okay. Doesn't mean I'm gonna roll better. I only have a plus
On
2. I
just
rolled
to
the
add
same number. Sorry, man. Oh,
to argue a mechanical case there, DM, would the combination of Lucifer and I forget the name of the character who he did Austin is now laughing along. But wouldn't their collaboration count as maybe a help action and thus an advantage roll?
No, there's no help. There's no external
Okay.
help in this.
Got it.
The orc looks at you, Lucifer. She takes a step forward, another step forward. She comes up to you very close by and takes your chin, maybe, between two really rough fingers. Her nails are pretty yellowed, a little cracked at the end. She clearly does not give a shit about them. She says, "You're strong, boy, aren't you?"
I'm silent. I just stare up.
I like the strong. I like the strong very much. I want to see them have the chance to flourish. Especially here. But let me tell you, the strong will not get by here while they're sheltering the weak. You're hiding something, and I don't think it's worth it for you.
I don't think I'm the only one here with secrets.
No, you're not, but you're not the strongest one here with secrets, so spill yours.
We should put our value. You want us to clear the vault or not? All I'm asking is, are we going to be able to leave? I don't know why that requires secrets.
He looks back to the general and says, "Well, this one is a little melt on him. He's not scared. Normally they're scared of me." "How much is it worth to you, huh?" And the general looks at you, Lucifer, and he says, "Look, hide what you want. We're going to find out. Now you've got her suspicious. I want to make a shark in the water smelling blood joke, but..." He kind of trails off and looks at her, and she rolls her eyes. "She'll find whatever you're hiding, so I would come clean if I were you. But indeed, I want you to do your job. Know that your compliance would be appreciated by me, by her, and by our Lord. And if we can't find out what it is you're hiding, he certainly will."
He.
"I promise you board as part of the contract." He kind of moves on from the conversation, if it seems like you don't particularly want to take that further. Feeling like the warning has appropriately been put in the sand. Board. It's covered. Colitha, wherever he is, will escort you down to a place in the city that you will find adequate rest, comfortable rest, food, drink. It's all on us. We are grateful for your assistance in the matter of clearing the 6th.
Bray releases like a massive exhale, like a huge sigh of relief, and he's like, "Oh, thank God. I threw my entire quimpers and my bedroll into the fountain earlier, so I was kind of wondering where I was going to sleep tonight."
Oh. No. Appreciated. Your sacrifice will be received with grace, as I hope it was.
"Thanks, Monty." He smiles.
Please don't call me that. General Montague, if you will. Ivor, if you must. But don't call me that.
Ivor.
Ivor Montague. That's...
Ivor. Okay. Noted.
The druid, like at this point, is laughing like pretty loudly. It's like a full belly, like thigh slapping. She's like, "Oh, he thinks he's part of the family," and is yeah. She, you get the general sense that this woman is loving life for her age and just general. She really doesn't give a shit no more, kind of thing. Like, yeah, she doesn't really seem to care who she's upsetting at this point.
Honestly, an icon. Hope that's me one day.
Yeah, she kind of like turns to patting the slathering scary cats. And the general continues. That will be all. I will see you tomorrow. I understand you probably keep to a day schedule, so the morning.
Aye.
Then the morning. Colitha will bring you up to Varkara, that's the cathedral at the top of Varsala, and I will take you down into the vault. Until then, please, for your own safety, I hate the paperwork. Do not go above Respite's Plaza. It will cause headaches for you and for me. Enjoy your night. Rest. I'm sorry if I hit any of you particularly hard. And I will see you in the morning.
Good night.
General, before we depart, just one small matter from me. I, in particular, have come looking for a item or object within the vault, which I believe to be of some great magical potential, an item of chaotic power, and I would just like your assurance that your offer that anything we find within the vault will remain up for grabs.
If you find it, it's yours when you find it, yes.
I'm grateful.
It's a very good question. And also, Lucifer asked a very good question, and yet you gave a better answer. The answer was yes, but the question was, would you be able to provide us with tools or some kind of a benefit to help us in this endeavor?
The benefit you'll receive will be gratitude. I can't send any of my men or anything that we own into that place. Like I said, the barrier.
And he puts his hands in his pockets and pulls out dust, like,
Not even magical items?
If you want an advance on your payment, I can have that arranged and
Oh,
sent to your
no,
place of
please,
board,
please.
and you can use it to purchase
he
from
looks
one of our
disgusted.
many boutiques.
Oh, no. Oh, no, you misunderstand me.
I misunderstand nothing, my friend. Try Calaman and Grey, they'll have what you're looking for.
All I say is, if you think there is anything you can do to help us while we're in there, which is of course not to send men, armies, healers, magicians inside, but to send us something that can help us. A potion of healing. Everybody in this room has heard of it. You know, you and you. Everybody knows. The question is, do you give?
I don't find them so agreeable on my constitution. This is the wrong place to be seeking those. If I have any, I shall consider my resources, and what I find I shall send to your place of board.
Very well.
Look after yourselves tonight. Don't be irresponsible.
Thank you, General. And motions towards the large orc. Don't know the name.
Oh, it's a wave caller, Kasra. Pleasure. If you have to know, I'm arch-druid, so I make all I make the pearls, I make all the fancy little exports. I make the weather, the mists. I do a lot, actually. I do a lot here. Can that be known?
I noticed the exquisite quality on the necklace.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, like a lot of things in the city, I am old and had a lot of time to practice, so.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Wavecaller.
Oh, you're not
Your
so
thread
polite.
is quite wide, and your warp most firm.
She looks at you and she says, "My what is wide now?"
Your warp. Your destiny.
Right, I'm with you. Okay, I thought this was like common for calling me wide, which I appreciate. Yes, I am strong, but sometimes you small people do not always mean it so well. My destiny is wide. Did you hear that, Monty? My destiny is wide. And he nods, says, yes, very, very impressive. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Like-
Thank you so much. Yes.
Adipose like turns to the others and is like, "Did you know she was there at the beginning? Quite a power to hold the fates of others, thousands in your palm. Tell me, what did that feel like?"
Oh, this is such a fun conversation. It felt, for the esotericness of your explanation, yeah, it felt. You know when there are leaves right on the ground, they have fallen from the autumn trees. And they
Ah,
are
that's why we
nice and crispy. And you just step on them, and there is that crunch, that
I
satisfaction.
crushed them.
It is such a satisfying feeling to hear that noise when you step on the crispy little leaves. That is what it felt like.
100 threads, cut in a moment.
That, my friends, is the benefit of having power. Remember that, yeah?
This just smiles ever so slightly.
The general just kind of folds his arms and says, "Yes, very scary. Tomorrow morning, please. I have a dinner to get to. I'll be in trouble if I'm late, so I'm going to go now. Thank you for the day."
Thank you, General.
Good.
Cheers,
Great.
Ivor. And didn't forget my my armchair. I'll remember.
Oh, right. He kind of nods and nods again, and eventually he remembers something. He just claps his hands and says, "Colitha, take them, please." And your guard escort, Colitha, who, like, doesn't take very long to appear. You get the sense he was probably watching through the window the entire time, waiting for his moment, kind of just appears through the door and says, "Yes, I will escort you down into the city. Thank you, General. You are most gracious and wave caller." And he bows very low, particularly for the General, and brings you out of the house, unless there is anything further you wish to say or achieve here.
Oh.
You are bundled back into your carriage, with Colitha, who seems like he wants to ask you questions the whole way down, but doesn't. Until maybe the very end, and he sort of says, "What? He's very good, isn't he? The general. He's very, very strong."
Impressive. Certainly. The move that cut down Osiris. Are you okay?
Yep, I'm absolutely fine. I just needed to sit down and close my eyes for a while, but quite frankly, it wasn't too much of a bother. No one has the insight check. It is very obvious that he is trying to maybe put a plaster on his pride.
I don't feel too bad about it. That's how I died, so I get you.
What, Ivor took you out?
Yeah,
And you still work for him?
yeah. He says like it's the most obvious thing in the world.
Is that normal here?
A lot of people that are here now probably died here and didn't leave.
The wave caller. She seems
Yes.
important.
The Archdruid, yes.
Is it just her position, or she seems so carefree compared to everybody else? The ruler must value her greatly.
She's afforded, well, she's earned her place of strength. And here, if you earn it, then you have it, right? You know. She
And
can
you're
be how
trying
she
to
wants
earn
to
it.
be. Yeah. I mean,
You'd kill the general if you could.
But I can't. I could never. I mean, I just couldn't.
That's not an insult here. It's just the way of things.
It's just how it is.
No, but if he knew
It's
that,
not.
what do you think he does?
Look, it's not strength alone. The Archdruid is important to the Emperor for reasons beside.
No, but you said you'd kill the general if you could.
No,
Does he know that?
I would. Well,
But you said you would.
I mean, if
Is
I
that
was
just a way of things here?
if I was stronger than him, then I mean, it's inconceivable. What a question. He looks pretty
Yes,
vexed by
quickly.
that one. I admire the general very much, as many.
I've admired many
Okay.
people I've killed.
Then sure, were it necessary, I would, if I could. But I can't. I wouldn't want to. He's vouched for me the entire time I've been here, even when I haven't seemed at my best, so I owe the man.
Thank you, Qualifier.
So, plans for tonight? Are you sleeping? Are you bars? Is it? What? He kind of like looks a little awkwardly around you. Do you have fun? What do you do?
How long's
Yes.
the ride, out of curiosity?
It's an hour, this ride.
Oh, short rest by any chance?
Yeah, you have a short rest in the carrots. Lazarus.
Well, I think Modi's actually in charge of the fun.
You very much misread this character. Bodhi has been quietly kind of looking out of whatever the closest window is, looking very deeply annoyed the whole time. Fun.
Lazarus, what was your?
Well, actually, we do have plans today. We've got very important plans that we've had booked in the calendar for a while. So we actually like to do a group reading session together. We do this almost every night. We do like to hold hands in a lot of cases as well, and we spend time together. And it's really about team bonding, and that is how we have got through all of our problems before, and it's how we're gonna get through this. He looks up. He's trying to find the right word for it. This job. And we'll be absolutely fine. But thank you for asking, but we are busy. Sorry about that.
No, I wasn't asking if you wanted to have fun with me. I just wanted to know if you were planning to run rampant and if I had to follow you around and stop you from getting into trouble. If you're going to sit and hold hands, then be my guest.
Are you sure? I mean, you can come along and join us if you'd really like to.
I really don't want to hold anyone's hand.
Well, I mean, we've only just met you, so of course you wouldn't be expected to do something like that. But you can still participate in the group reading if you want to. And like at every sentence, he's like shifting like slightly closer and closer, however they're sitting, like to cauliflower, whatever his name is.
Oh wow.
The insightful among you, you have never seen a man look so uncomfortable. Like, clearly he's like pretty standoffish and uncomfortable with human contact. This is like so far beyond the realms of what he knows how to deal with. He's like sat there like completely like stiff as a board, just like, right, yeah, no.
You
no,
know
thank
you
Please no.
don't. You know you don't have to make small talk if you don't want to.
That's so relieving.
Well, I mean, no, but the thing is, Moddy, is it's not really small talk because I'm trying to invite him to our very important plans tonight. And I was also thinking that if he was to put guards at our door, we could also invite the guards as well, or anyone that was potentially wanting to, hang out with us.
And hear about your god, yeah?
Well, yes, obviously, my god's very important. And he should be to everyone here.
The most important.
Which god do you follow?
He kind of shoots you a look and then with the kind of eyes of like.
Wait,
It
what?
goes back
Eric
to looking
literally
out the
being
window.
like, check out the religious crazy over here.
Modi abandoned his god long ago.
Oh.
No, he didn't say that in person. Bray slaps Colither on the back, kind of jovially, and he's like, but with his +4 strength, it's probably quite a lot harder than he was meaning to. And he goes, "Oh, come on, it's fun. Don't worry, we'll have drinks, and it's not so bad. Listen to him read out his books and that."
Honestly, after the 3000th reading of Helm's Tenants, you learn so much more.
Helm. Great.
Wait, what? Sorry?
That was Lucifer commenting on the 3000th reading of Helm's Tenets.
No, you said Helm. Great.
Yeah, to which he said, yeah.
So, you in or you out? You gonna come with us?
I'm so out.
You're missing out.
I don't know how to tell you that in words I haven't already said.
It's a shame the general said he might stop by.
Would he? No.
Yeah.
Modi kind of cracks a smile and pats Oswald on the back and, "Don't worry, you can't win them all, buddy."
Fine. More drinks
You
for
get-
Ivor when he stops by later.
When Bray briefly distracts Conifer, I can't remember. I can never remember his name. It's
Cauliflower's
Cauliflower.
fine.
Cauliflower.
It's Conifer or cauliflower.
It's cauliflower.
Where's Kafka?
Coniferous.
Talk.
Captain Cauliflower.
Moddy, when Bray kind of briefly distracts him, and you say that to Osiris, he smiles pretty widely at you, side eyes you, and gives you a wink.
Just for a little backstory, I imagine that every time Osiris got really excited about reading books about anything, Modi's never looked disinterested, but he's never left. Like he doesn't engage too much, but he seems to enjoy the company.
For context, you guys have never had a group reading session, and you have also never seen Osiris with a book in his hand. I mean, maybe he would have had one in his bag, but he's never shown an interest in books.
So he's just lying through his teeth.
Fucking chaos monger, this character.
Love it.
He has, maybe implied that he'd wanted to hold hands with some people before, though, so that's not completely a lie.
Having successfully made your guard captain feel so immensely awkward, he kind of looks like he wants to melt into a puddle in the ground. You spend the rest of the carriage ride. I don't know. Is it quiet? Are you guys just chatting amongst yourselves?
We could chat.
You chatting. And you going downhill the whole way, you finally draw to a halt. And Colotha nods and says, "Okay, well, we've reached it. This is he opens the door, looks out. This is Seraph's Embrace. It's Respite's Plaza." He kind of motions out the window, and you find yourselves in a plaza that is I'll say well lit. This looks incredibly commercial. You have hotels, kind of these large looking structures with guests milling around the outside. You have pleasant strings of like twinkling silver lights. It's all very like well kept, small trees and little like flower beds and things. You've got maybe a few guards wandering around, but for the most part, the folk look pretty like standard to you guys. This is an eclectic mix of merchants, of like people that you would expect to find in any city in the world, really. You've got like various painted signs. You've got like the Oyster Creche, which looks to be a large hotel, a slightly more rundown looking establishment called the Flickering Lantern, where you've got people who are maybe less well dressed milling in the kind of drinking area outside. And you are in front of a large and pretty resplendent looking building, which has a large sign painted Seraph's Embrace. The front of the building is stonework. It's intricate, like cherub looking things and like kind of holy imagery going on. Nicely cut again, like topiary. There's a valet standing out the front ready to take anyone's bags as they come in. Carriages kind of coming in and out of the front of the hotel. And Colotha says, "Right, I'll see you to your rooms then. Good." And he looks, maybe insight check, actually.
Cool.
Meh.
14.
14.
As much as they're
14 is
memeing in
mean.
chat, I've rolled 5 like 7 times this session. 7.
7. Okay.
15.
15.
7.
7. 15 or highest. I think with a 15, you get the sense that if he looked uncomfortable before, he might even look slightly more uncomfortable now, as he takes a step out of the carriage and leads you forwards into this building. It's quite a big foyer, and there is a single man behind the desk. White pillowy hair, kind of well-dressed, tailored waistcoat, well-fitted shirt, kind of kept around his arms with like silver sort of thin pieces at the arms. And he looks at you as you enter, looks at the company you're keeping with Colotha, and he stretches his arms out wide and he says, "Hello, I'm Seraph, and welcome to my embrace." And he stretches out wide towards all of you, welcoming. "Please, come forward, offer your names, and let me find you the room best suited to you." He has a welcoming smile on his face. He's
Wait,
very...
hold on. We don't need to make some kind of save. I feel like that kind of chat. I feel like I need to make a save.
No, it's a welcoming smile, a happy little smile, pillowy, platinum bordering on white hair, angelic looking face, kind of very light purple sort of irises, almost like brightly coloured, as he regards you all. "I was told you would all be coming. You've come from House Montague, haven't you? How is the general?"
He's doing all right. We're mates.
Great.
Roost.
Strong as ever.
Yeah.
He seems fine, generally.
Yes, Osiris.
Do I get the sense that when I walk into this place, there is any kind of like extra security or like magical kind of effect on any of the surrounding rooms? Or like, do I also get the sense that like this has been pre-planned, like not just, oh, you can stay in this place, but like this has been thought through and they have been expecting us for a while?
Maybe insight check the vibe, actually.
Okay.
Vibe check the general establishment.
13.
Can I also do a Pyongyang staged hotel insight check?
Yeah, you can do a staged hotel insight check. Yeah, okay, so with a 13, it's nice. You feel like he was expecting you. There are people coming in and out of the hotel, though, that look like folk that you saw at the dock earlier. This doesn't look entirely like, this is a perfectly curated experience. 21, Mercy. You can't help but get the vibe that it's not. This guy doesn't seem like he's being disingenuous. This is a nice hotel. There are people that stay here normally. You get the sense, though, that your group is probably a special case and special provisions have been made for you. In terms of security, though, not especially. There is security in and around Respite's Plaza. Like, you saw quite a lot of guard presence among the various bars, and it has that kind of like, when you're on holiday, seafront kind of place, warm air, people out drinking at night, but lots of cocktails going on. It has that kind of thing with the nice string lights and the topiary and things. Just with an added bunch of guards, But so Colitha walks forward and says, "Okay, Seraph, so rooms, it's all paid for, as I understand. Do I have somewhere?" And they kind of talk between the two of them for a minute. And Seraph turns to you all and says, Well, if I can help you with anything, be it dinner, be it good company, be it better company, please don't hesitate to let me know. I can recommend you anything from boutiques to restaurants to my own special presence." And he kind of looks between all of you and maybe comes round in front of the desk, shakes all your hands. He's extremely personable. Maybe like late 30s potentially at the oldest. Very like angelic looking face.
Would Bray recognize this place as being a brothel?
Is it a brothel? No, you don't get the sense this is a brothel. This is definitely a hotel. Seraph does look at you with a bit of sauce when he says it, though. I don't think the implication is that, he's here exactly for that, but I think maybe there's a little bit of a waggle of an eyebrow.
Okay. Cool, never mind.
I also run the bar, so if you want some drinks, if you just want to... I'm sure the general will put you through the ringer, he tends to. So if you want to relax, I'm your guy. Of course, if you want to go straight to your rooms, no problem.
A room, please. A private room.
Private room, understood. By the way, since this is all paid for by House Montague, can I recommend you order the most expensive thing on every menu you see while you're here?
Well, don't mind if I do. I'll be starting off in the bar, I think. Which way is it?
So that way, he kind of points towards this like marbled hallway, and you see this kind of like low lit sort of area with again very plush chairs. There's someone else behind the bar, and Seraph kind of whistles him over and kind of has them swap places if that's where you're heading. He kind of points to a valet and says, "And see this one to a room, please. The rest of you, what will you be doing?"
As Seraph turns to the rest, Bray is also turning to the rest of the party, being like, Bar? Drinks? Yeah. Like, trying to, like, encourage people to come to the bar with him. He's also
After
trying to encourage
today-
Mercy. If Mercy hasn't left already.
Mercy stopped and looking at Lucifer has actually said, "Lucifer, a quick word if you wouldn't mind. Then you can return to gallivanting at the bar if you wish.
Lucifer still breathing slightly heavily. Of course, Mercy.
Of course.
When they go on,
I'm listening.
go on, you go.
And yourself.
Okay, when they say that to each other, Osrus is gonna turn to look at them and start following them as if he was invited. And if either of them look at him weirdly, he's gonna have the most, I don't know, puppy dog eyes, big smile on his face, and you'll find it very difficult to, or more difficult to say anything should you wish.
Yeah, I imagine they get about 5 paces down the hall if Lucifer's coming. Mercy
Yeah.
sees that Ozus is behind him, and he turns and stops and says, "Yes, Ozus. What are you doing?"
Well, I just thought I'd come with you. I mean, I don't drink, so is that not okay?
Well, I'm sure we'd both be happy to spend some time in your company, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us a couple of minutes to have a private conversation, we'd be delighted to return to your sunny company in due course.
This
Just
isn't
a couple
something
of
you want
minutes.
Osrus to hear.
What was that, Lucifer?
I said, sorry, this isn't something you want Osrus to hear. Mercy.
Well, I was thinking more that you might not want Ozrus to hear. But I will leave it in your hands then.
I don't want any secrets. If it's not yours to keep, then Osrus may know whatever I know.
Very well. And he sort of turns and begins to walk towards the
The
concierge.
concierge.
Concierge?
Wait,
Alright.
do you mean
Okay.
like the host, the barkeeper?
Do you
that's
mean
leaving?
Seraph or another valet or?
Well,
Where's
yeah.
your
Is there
stand?
someone who could show us to like a private room, or where are we in the?
If you're looking for a private room, there's a valet, maybe a young woman standing to attention, kind of short cropped hair. She says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
The nearest private suite, please. Not to stay. I just wish to have a short conversation with my friends.
Meeting room. She looks over to Seraph, who gives a single nod, and she says, "Absolutely, please, yes, follow me." She doesn't take you down very far. It's a nicely outfitted suite. There's coffees, there's biscuits, there's nibbles. A place constructed for business. And she leaves the two of you there.
3 of us.
3.
Three of you, the three. Oh yeah.
Oh, their laptop chargers though.
There's
And good-
annoyingly
and good
only
lighting for Zoom calls.
annoyingly
Is
only
there
two
Nadav
chargers
shouting in
between
the other
like
room?
there's a table that looks like it seats 10 but only charges for 2. One officer.
Jamie, we don't use that word here.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the
CO.
co-working space, guy.
I meant it was it the CO.
It's a
If I-
we work, guys.
If I
What do we
do
want?
anything,
We work.
please let
When
me
do we want
know.
it? Sorry.
And she
Yes.
kind of stands outside the room. It's a glass panel door. And leaves you 3 of you to it.
Okay. Is she standing outside?
Yeah.
I open the door and say, "Would you mind stepping away
Miss?
from the door?"
Sure.
I believe
Takes a
6
few
paces
steps.
should be fine. Thank you.
6. Certainly, sir. And she takes 7 paces down the hallway.
If, Mercy, you believe there is any privacy on this island, I suspect you are far too intelligent to believe that.
There are observers, and then there are sometimes things not worth observing. I believe that this might be one of those times. But it's never quite easy to tell. The reason I asked you here was to say, I believe that your decision to mention the red-haired woman
Didn't mention
was
her.
extremely dangerous.
Lucifer didn't mention her. That's
But
like
you
our
alluded-
character.
You alluded to her, right?
I alluded to the fact that the captain had said that we weren't allowed to leave, but
He was
obviously
naughty
she
about
saw
it.
through that. Yeah.
He knew that you were hiding something, but she didn't necessarily seem to.
So that's fine. I'll react to it.
Who you possibly could have spoken to that would say something like that to you seemed to be something she couldn't psychically guess.
She didn't answer my question, Massey. Osiris. They attacked just often the first defense of those who know they don't want to answer. We are not allowed to leave, regardless of our success. And that is the single most important fact in whether or not we will meet whoever it is you are alluding to. Because I do not intend to stay on this island forever. I do not intend to be trapped here. They gave me as answer as clear as day, regardless of what they said. What do you two think?
I do not wish to make your choices. They are yours. But from what we have spoken of and what I understand of you, it may be said that those in your past have also said things that they wish they could have taken back, made choices that they wish they could have done differently.
We are presented with two options. Flee, or be valuable enough to be allowed to leave. What do you think is more realistic in this moment, both of you?
Well, at least General Montague was being mostly honest. I mean, we can't say for sure if that woman, Vesper, if she was being honest at all. We don't even know whether she's working for General Montague.
Careful with names, also with being listened to, I'm certain.
I mean, Vesper, the man that we met earlier today, outside of General Montague's house.
Her logic was flawed. Osiris, who's the most important person in the world to you?
My God. Does he count as a person?
Yes. If I killed your god, what would you do, Osiris? If I stabbed them in front of you, watched them bleed out, staring deep into your eyes, how would you react? In your home.
He stops for a moment and thinks about it. And he's kind of looking backwards and forwards between Mercy and Lucifer, and it's probably not the like visceral reaction you expected. And he says, well, that would be very impressive. I would probably start worshipping you instead.
Okay. Who's the second most?
At this point, like Ozrus has cast the second cast of create food and water, and popcorn is just very slowly, a bit more politely than earlier, popping out of his hand, still bright yellow, still smells slightly off.
I'll cut to the chase because this isn't working. If I killed somebody important to anyone in this room, I would hope one of your first thoughts would be vengeance. I don't think our plan is good.
Perhaps this is something we need to involve our friends in. But let
Certainly.
me just... I wanted to offer some advice for one who's seen choices turn bad sometimes. Words travel fast and far afield.
Thank you. Messi, I suspect, given the time frames we're working with, we still have the privilege of choice. At least I hope so. How on earth can you enjoy that? It smells so weird.
I think they're watching now. We should leave.
Are you talking about Ozrus's popcorn?
Yeah.
Well, don't knock it till you tried it. And he sort of like hovers a piece of popcorn like close to Lucifer's mouth. He doesn't put it in, but it's like a near thing.
Kind of awkwardly takes it and tries to give it to Mercy.
Yeah, Mercy just lets it. It's like, ah.
It tastes like raw fish that's been left out in the sun for about 20 days, 30 days. You've probably never tasted something so disgusting that was supposed to be eaten before.
Nourishing. I'm sure this would sustain you for many days.
He
Very
looks
well.
very pleased at that. He's like, well, I'm glad you think so. I do enjoy it, but for some reason, people aren't keen on corn as a crop, apparently. I mean, to eat.
That is a most interesting tidbit. Thank you, Ozrus.
No problem.
At the bar. Bray, Morty, Arim, are you guys drinking? At Seraph's invitation. He indicates a kind of wide set of sofas, low tables, low lights. There are several other patrons drinking at the bar. In fact, there's a grey-haired man, bald perhaps, laden with wares, waistcoat bags. He's sat at a table by himself, counting piles of gold. There's a woman with kind of huge frizzed hair, a little wild, probably unbrushed to be honest. Split ends everywhere. And big kind of swirled glasses, slightly ragged clothes. She is missing a few fingers. And she is kind of sat nervously and kind of like gives you a little wave as you enter. A few other patrons that kind of look to be merchants, kind of well-dressed, silk-wearing individuals. And Seraph kind of pops a menu in front of you and says, please, anything you want from the menu, or if you have a favourite, I can do that too. If you need any information about the city, I am yours. If you need to talk about anything in general, I am also yours. Just let me know how I can make you comfortable.
Well, there is a question. Of course, he doesn't even let the final syllable taper. The drinks are paid by
General Montague, yes, with compliments.
no other questions.
And that's the only one that matters, friend.
Bray's leaning on the bar, and he kind of like, is there other people in the bar as well, like drinking there too?
A few others.
So he probably sees someone nearby who's maybe drinking kind of like a fruity little cocktail with a little umbrella in it and all that kind of stuff, and he kind of looks at that longingly for a brief second before he turns back to the barman and says, I'll have one of them fruity ciders.
A cider, you sure?
Yeah, why not? Be funny.
I do something more.
No,
magnificent.
just
umbrellas and
no,
colours.
I don't need any of that shit. I'll just have a cider.
A rainbow effect in the glass. No,
No, you're good.
cider it is, sir.
He looks
And
like
he
he's
kind
dying
of
inside a little bit.
Single tear rolls down his
He's
cheek.
about it with a tap, gets you a cider, and he plops a little umbrella in the top. Passes it over. How are you finding Varsala so far? What's your name? What can I call you?
My name's Bray. Nice to meet you. What's your
nice
name?
to meet you too. Seraph.
Oh, Seraph. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Seraph. Seraph's Embrace. Yeah.
Oh,
I own the place.
oh, I see. You're not embracing people yourself so much.
With my hospitality, yes, and sometimes with other things, if it seems like the right moment.
Right. I get what you mean. He kind of swirls his little cocktail umbrella around his cider.
So what are you here in Varsala to do? Are you here for sightseeing? Is it the cathedrals? Is it Valkara? Is it just to give worship to the Dread Emperor? Is it...
Oh, well, we did that plenty earlier today.
Oh, did you?
You would not believe my entire life savings all in one go.
Oh, fair enough. It's worth it, I promise.
Hope so. I also give away my bedroll. If it wasn't for Ivor's generosity, I wouldn't have anywhere to bloody sleep tonight.
You gave him your bedroll!
Well, I was running out of things to throw in.
What's he going to do with your bedroll, I wonder?
Don't know. I also gave him a book, but I couldn't read that anyway, so...
Oh,
no
I'm
loss to me.
sorry. Right, yeah. So, he kind of engages you in small talk for a little while. Arim, Muddy, are you guys getting drinks also? Are you... I think generally throughout the course of this conversation, he's just sort of trying to make you comfortable. You get the sense, maybe? I don't know if Bray's someone who maybe lets his guard down a little bit, but it's nice conversation. It's welcoming.
Yeah, Bray definitely relaxes once he's had a couple of drinks.
Arim is, he's like, yes, I will have one sauce.
Right away. He knows what you're talking about for sure. Sure. I mean, the DM doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I think my NPC does.
See?
Unless Playa would like to clarify.
It is an
Absolutely not.
obscure, very low percentage alcoholic beverage from the land which he's from.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah.
So
You
the
get one?
exact stuff.
Yeah, you get one put in front of you. Pretty
Oh,
close.
that's good.
Pretty close to
Alright,
the
cool.
T. Man knows his craft.
And even though it's extremely low percentage, it's probably about, for a spirit, it's probably about 7% tops. And
Glass of
he's
wine
sipped
energy,
it like
yeah.
sake, and he's like, woo! Woo! As if it's a bird in his mouth.
Oh my god, Arim's a lightweight.
He's the lightest weight.
I love this.
And Muddy, what is Muddy getting?
Muddy just goes for a very hearty. He looks at the guy and then, do you have any like some proper of the earth, just like an ale?
I knew it. A nice bitter.
Earthy bitter of the earth. Absolutely. Coming right up. I know the sort. And it's put in front of you fairly quickly. And he's kind of chatting to you guys, unless you just want to, you give the impression that you just want to talk amongst yourselves.
Drinking this drink is the first time Muddy looks slightly entertained at this point. But otherwise, that's pretty...
And not before long, your group is approached by this.
Sorry, is this everyone back together, or are we still?
Yeah, you guys probably filter in. Like, your conversation wasn't that long, so I'll say as the guys are getting their drinks, you kind of come back in. If you're intending to hang about the bar. And you are approached by this woman with like this wild hair, maybe kind of late 50s, looks kind of like she's been about the ringer with her missing fingers. And she kind of waves to you and says, Hey, can I talk to you guys for a minute? Just a little bit, please. Just a little bit. Do you wanna come over here?
You can talk a little bit if you want.
Just a little bit? Okay. I have this thing. See, guys, I'm here to take pictures of ghosts. She lets it hang. Do you know what taking pictures is, guys?
I have no idea, but I'm sure it's
Ah,
stupid.
no. What they're trying to say is they are a thief. They're taking them.
Of a sort. You're not wrong. My name is Agatha, and I am a purveyor of the occult, shall we say. I am
You must feel right
travelling
at home here. Then.
the realms 12 far and wide to capture the essence of ghosts on paper.
Capture, you see, take.
I have come to the Dread Isles because obviously there are ghosts here. I can hear them, I can see them, I can smell them, and you must be a group of adventurers. Am I right? I'm right. Yes.
Yeah,
Adventurers.
you're right. And he kind of
Okay.
flexes a little
He
bit.
finishes his drink a little bit. Adventurers, mercenaries, whatever you want to call it.
Good.
All the
A
same thing.
rematch that he goes, like probably 2 of these very weak drinks deep, goes, yeah, adventurous. We're here for adventure.
An adventure. Yes, I love it. All right, take my device. And she puts in your hands this little kind of oblong-looking thing, leather-coated, like kind of rivets and things. She says, "This, guys, emits a flash of arcane light. It bounces back onto the capture lens and imprints the ghost upon this little reel of spell-storing paper on the barrel. It will produce you an image of the ghost captured in the moment that you see it forever. That moment, that brush with the occult, that brush of death that you experience will be captured eternally on paper for you, but mainly for me. Because please, go out, take pictures of the ghosts that you see while you're here, give them to me, and I'll pay you."
No, I'm not here for any collectibles.
Is there an achievement link to the side
This
quest?
is the most side quest.
Sorry, I'm not a completionist.
Collect all 1,000
I am
the
here for the
devs.
gamer
This is
score,
the devs
okay?
showing off a really cool new feature they just added to this sequel where you can take pictures.
Guys, we've all heard of Gwent. We're fine.
We've all got phones, right? If you go out, you download the app,
Zelda
you take
Breath of the
pictures of
Wild,
the
right?
world, you get in-game currency.
You see, ghosts have a limited tie to the world. And we
Agatha.
are in part.
Not limited enough in my mind.
Your destiny, your lifeline is extremely short.
Probably.
Beware, tomorrow, your second cup of tea. I believe it will go extremely badly.
Well, then I must see them tonight.
Fucking hell.
Just take it, please. Just... Ghosts, like I said, they have a limited tie to the world. And I just steal them, capture them.
Right, can I
See what
can I
happens.
perceive if she's actually a massive nerd or is this some kind of like listening device? A 21.
It's like a skull of scrying.
This woman fucking loves ghosts, dude.
Right, good.
This is the best NPC.
Ray, humor her, please.
Well, she's like, sort of like, is she waving? Is it a contraption? Is it like
Yeah,
something that
it's
she's giving?
it's a little device, leather wrapped, studs along it.
Okay, before she like offers it, Osiris just kind of like takes it and immediately takes a picture of the woman.
Ghost, dear. But that's
Not
how
yet.
it works.
Not yet,
Yes.
according to Mercy. Alright.
You push down upon this little circle, there's a little click, and then you have it. But I'm not a ghost, so. But you find
Not
it.
yet.
Even though
Not yet, but I will be. That's right.
even though Osiris just clicked it and clearly knew what to do because it was fairly obvious, after she says that, he really clicks it. Like, he puts his full strength and just like slams on the button in front of her again.
Make a strength check.
Oh
Good question.
Okay. That's a -1.
7.
That's a natural 20.
Oh
no!
shit!
Oh my god!
You break the thing.
You break it. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Your
Ah.
lithe, soft little hands crush it like an aluminium can. Gears pop out, little whirring parts. The glass lens on it shatters in your hands, and the bits of it fall to the floor.
Roll initiative.
He looks at the pieces just like falling out of his hand. He looks at the woman and goes, "Oops. Is that supposed to happen?"
Oh, you
Gonna end the session
Yeah.
there.
But not for you.
I
Fuck you. And she takes
Yes.
it.
Yes.
She takes it out of your hands. Hands down, eyes locked still,
Hello,
like
TikTok.
goes down and comes back up. And she backs away with her little device. And just turns back into the bar and leaves.
Those days.
You know, I really hate the occult and all that kind of stuff, but even I thought that was a little bit harsh.
Taurus.
He looks over at Modi again, goes, "Well, she told me to push the button. I pushed the button."
Which,
I
by the
mean-
way, I'm very impressed you managed it. You're a lot stronger than you look.
Well, after all, I'm a paladin. I just wanted to help her. She seemed pretty desperate to be helped. And he looks over at Bray. Right, Bray? I was just trying to help.
Yeah, I was very impressed. You pressed that button real hard. Been working out.
Working
And he
working
kind of
out-
like
working out your
gives one
fingers.
of Ozaras's little noodly tiny arms like a little squeeze. Like, oh yeah, I can feel it.
Behind the bar, you just hear a quiet "thank you so much" from Sarah. She's been here for weeks. She pays, but oh my goodness, she's taking photo of me every day, every single day.
Are you a ghost?
No, she thinks I am. I'm not.
Are there many
Oh.
ghosts here?
A
is she just-
few.
Is she just insane?
I mean, she's not wrong. If you want ghosts, then Varsala's the place for ghosts. But she's not getting near them.
Ozarus, why did you try to break that woman's machine?
Try
I
is an interesting word for succeed.
Oh, I didn't try to break anything.
Just a spirit.
Mhm. Would we, as a group, knowing Ozarus, know about the mischievous nature of this paladin at this point? Or not really? How much would we have figured it out?
What mischievous nature?
He's just always trying
I
to
guess
help.
not. We don't know it. Yeah, it's true.
He's just trying to help so hard.
Yeah, just trying to help. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case,
you could-
Modi probably thinks you're just really incompetent.
I mean, if
Somehow you managed to really screw up a lot of stuff.
Modi is suspicious, like you can roll an insight check.
No. He just thinks you're really, really incompetent. But a nice guy, just really incompetent.
I feel perhaps the levity is helping, but we are all in quite a lot of danger here.
Mm.
I think we saw that today.
There are definitely strong things here. And God knows what's in that vault.
I think, like, partially because we're close to the end of the session, but also partially because you sort of had a choice put in front of you today. Vesper offered you the chance to help her tonight at midnight, which is fast approaching. And you know that you have a discussion to have on that and a decision to make. Versus just helping out the general. You had your experience with him, and somebody else who seems fairly eminent in the regime, their wave caller. Yeah, you have the choice between helping them out and seemingly doing something very important for them, in which they put a lot of stock, or just trying to hightail out of here and kill one of them.
This
So-
place is. Something's really wrong with it. I can feel it. But that woman in the carriage, she didn't seem very strong, let's just put it that way. And the shaman and the general, well, I think we could get a feeling of which side might win if they were put up against each other.
I didn't like her reasoning. Murdering someone close to you is not a distraction. It's a call to anger.
Osiris, as soon as Lucifer starts talking, Osiris turns to Lucifer, raises his eyebrow after the conversation they had just had in the private meeting room, and says, "So are we not being watched now?" And looks very pointedly at the barkeep, who is standing probably not too far away.
Yes,
We
Osiris
are-
just looks straight at you guys and shrugs and says, "Oh, don't worry, people have all kinds of conversations here. If you're trying to murder someone, let me know who, and I can probably give you some pointers."
We are being watched at all times.
Definitely.
Well, unlike you guys.
I'm not here. Just
well,
ignore me.
I'm not going to say it was your guys' decision, but
But I've already
I
made up
have-
my mind.
I think we've
we
made
tell
up the
them
same.
everything, and we hope that we can leave as being valuable.
But here's the thing, though, Lucifer. Shouldn't we keep our options open? Shouldn't we at least hear what she has to say? I mean, that's pretty much a win-win situation for us, right? Because if we decide that she's not someone that we want to go ahead and help, then we have more information, more leverage to go back to our employers, right?
Information is powerful.
Exactly.
How to do what?
Well, if we succeed at what we're planning on doing, then also unveiling a plan, plotting against the general would swing in our favor, surely. He
That's
seems to
my-
like us.
That's my plan. I don't like her plan. We tell them everything. We use this as a bargaining chip. I don't think we leave other than by the grace of the Dread Emperor.
What I don't understand is the fact that General Montague and the Wave Caller, they're both so strong, so why don't they just go open the vault themselves, you know? Like,
There's clearly something stopping them from entering.
They can't enter, apparently. They believe, anyway.
Something about the people here. They're cursed. Or
But
something.
this is exactly what I'm saying. Maybe she'll have a bit more information as to why that's the case. Because the general and the shark lady don't seem like they're going to tell us, right?
I don't disagree with you, Osiris. I just don't think it's my problem.
I don't want to stay here forever. Whatever is the best move of leaving. That's my plan. Whatever you think that is.
I will find us a way out of here. He's like 3 shots deep on is like 2% in spirits at this point. But my guy is fucking wrestling with it. He's like, I will find us a way out of here. Don't you worry. But we must see the vault. I'm here to see the vault. I'm not leaving to see the vault. If I do not see the vault, then I cannot leave.
what about you, Mercy? You've been
I
awfully
believe that in choosing to say what he said in the courtyard of the general, Lucifer has altered the weaves of all of us, all of you. There are now threads which are open, which were formerly tangled, and likewise others that have been cut. I do not now believe that going along with the proposed venture is one which extends your lifelines to the distance they're meant to go.
I think my lifeline has extended beyond his distance a very long time ago.
Are you saying, Mercy, that the only way out is to go to the docks this evening?
I'm saying that sometimes the God's Weave has a path in store for us. One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it. I hate to say that we may be on that path already. And sometimes bad things are meant to happen.
At this point, at the break in the conversation, Seraph just slides drinks over to all of you. And says, "Oh, heavy," and goes back to find the bar.
Without batting an eyelid, Osiris gently slides his drink over to the already very intoxicated Orium.
I've made my choice. I don't like the plan we were talked to about today. I think it's counterintuitive to what I know of people. If anybody were to kill someone I cared about, it wouldn't be a distraction, it would be motivation.
It also sounds like a pretty shitty plan, to be honest. Kill one of the most important parts of this entire system so that, a small boat of people can get off an island?
But we don't know what the effect might be, because if she's very important to this environment and ecosystem, then perhaps even if General Montague seeks out some sort of revenge, the island could be in such disarray that there actually could be a very good chance to slip out. But we don't know this because we haven't listened to her. So I personally
Listened.
think we should.
She spoke, I listened.
Clued, were we given the impression earlier of how Wave Color Khazra controls the island's kind of environment?
Yeah, so meteorology was mentioned to you, vineyards, etc. I think you got the sense that she's very important for the continued success of the luxury goods, perhaps, that come in and out of the island. So they can grow the grapes that make nice wines. She seems to have something to do with the oysters, the pearls she alluded to. All of these are extremely luxury goods that that the Dread Isles export globally. If it's famous for anything, it's famous for wine, it's famous for really, really beautiful and incredible pearls. Magical, a lot of them. So it makes sense to you that it sounds like she's probably involved in some of these things. Because an island with no sun, shrouded in mist, probably seems to you like it would struggle to grow grapes without the sun, and photosynthesis kind of is the sun.
Just generally as a question, have we noticed people are on the hotter side, on the less hot side? What's the
What,
It's probably pretty cold without any sun.
Oscars? Oh, do you mean hot as in Smash or Pass, or do you mean?
Yeah, it's Smash or Pass. Yeah.
In general on the island.
We Smash
Hotter.
heavy or Pass heavy? Okay.
Yeah, I mean the average person is like Asimar Tiefling. It's that's them's races renowned for being pretty. Ooh.
I mean, it wouldn't be that bad if we got stuck here, I suppose.
But yeah, so luxury exports aside, also there is no sun here. Is that the druid doing that? Maybe. If this is an island of dead people, then the fact there's no sun probably feels quite important. If she's in any way involved in that, that's very important.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, sorry, question. That was kind of what I was implying, but like, would it be realistic that my character would have like an understanding that if she seems to be in charge of the island's weather and there has been no sun and people have lived here for a long time without sun, that would potentially have a pretty dramatic effect on the inhabitants of the island?
Yeah, I mean, you have like a 16 in intelligence. If like our average human pea brains in this chat can put it together, like Osiris definitely can. I think like Osiris is definitely thinking that when Vesper told you that her death would be such a large distraction to the Dread Emperor, it would both be because he'd be pissed off or distracted by it, but also he'd have a shit ton of stuff to have to deal with. Like if he's actually magically in charge of the regime and he loses his weather controlling like ecosystem creator, he has a lot of work to do.
So, sorry, the other half of my question was actually about the weather controlling aspect of Khazra. Since Bray did spend most of the journey over to the Dread Isles chatting to the sailors on the boat, would he have gotten any impression that she might be part of the reason why the oceans were sailable in order to get to the islands? Like, is she part of like controlling the waters around the islands, or is that not something he would have heard at all?
Yeah, Bray definitely would have clocked on to the fact the sea is outrageously flat. Like, it's actually just not sailable at all. There's no wind in that portion of mist. The sea doesn't move you. You would have just sat there. Like, you wouldn't have even have drifted. There's no current, from what Bray could tell. The fact that your boat moved at all probably told you there was something going on. Some kind of magical control. I think maybe, like, sea-looking shark druid might tell you, yeah, she might have a finger in that pie also.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Those are my questions. After, like, as the party's kind of talking about the pros and cons of going with Vesper or just going along with the original Montague plan, Bray kind of pipes up and says, well, I don't know if this woman is meant to be controlling more than just the oysters and the everything, but I was looking at the ocean and it was awfully still, so if she's involved in that, then if we kill her, we might not have smooth sailing to even get off this island anyway. My concern.
Excellent point, Bray.
Or if we kill her, the sea will return to normal and we have a much better chance of sailing out of there. How about that?
We came to go to the vault. We did not come here to assassinate political entities.
And if we kill her, I don't think we'll get our 10,000 gold each, so...
I think that's a pretty solid point.
Yeah, the gold, the vault is other shot glass batters into the floor at this point.
Another one is put immediately into your hands by Seraph.
Hold on.
That's a lot of drinks. Yep.
What we could do is we do the vault first, get the 10,000 gold each, and then if we can't get off the island, then we can kill the shark woman.
I don't.
What?
But why not this one, huh?
Yeah, Ariam's got it. See, it makes sense.
We win, and then we win.
Double win. Can't get much better
I
than
hate
that.
to be the proverbial rain cloud, but if you notice the way that the wave caller behaved around the general, from my reading, he was the little sister and she the big brother.
Seraph
I
leans
don't-
in and he's more like, Actually, I think it's more like grandmother and grandchild, but that sort of energy, yeah.
Just having this conversation, literally no fucks given.
She refers to him as her precious son, her
Oh my
precious
God.
grandson. It changes based on the day. Same for the Dread Emperor, actually. So I think she just sees everyone on this island as her little clutch. If that helps.
Yes.
Can
Yes,
I
thank you.
ask,
Thank you,
You're
sir.
welcome.
why is the Dread Emperor called the Dread Emperor? It's not a very inviting title.
I think he just wanted the title.
So he never earned it, he just asked for it.
Oh, he took it.
But it wasn't given to him by his enemies, or...
Well, he might have had them praise him for it as they choked on their last breaths, but
So
no,
he's a
I
warrior.
think, yeah, I mean, he took it by force.
Ah.
Yeah, this place wasn't his to begin with, and
I heard
he,
only that much.
yeah, look, the guys in charge here previously, they weren't great. I owe my life to him. I owe my life to the general. It's all good.
How, may I ask how you owe your life to them?
They saved me.
From?
Certain death.
Not by, I'm assuming not by their own hand.
Oh, no, someone else's hands.
Ah, that sounds very...
And
Upstanding
after
of
my
you.
saviours
charitable.
pulled me out of the mire, I have found myself in possession of a beautiful hotel in downtown Varsala. I have a nice income, I go to parties, I meet fabulous folks like yourselves, and I have access to all the liquor I could ever want to drink by myself or serve to people like you.
Arim leans forwards on the bar, and with him, as he puts his elbow on, comes just a line of shot glasses, just all screech forwards. Yes. Yes. This, back home, is the same. The people who are wealthy, they succeed. And when they do well, all of us are doing well. It's about them who spread it, you know. It's almost if like you have a liquid, a sweet honey, and they drink and some of it drips.
Like it just trickles down.
Trickles down. Yes.
It trickles down like liquor down the throat. You get me.
It's like arcane magic.
Yes, but also sentimentally. I owe them my life. My point is, if you're going to kill the wave caller, by all means.
I never
have
said I
fun
would.
with that. No, okay, you're debating if you're going to kill the wave caller.
No,
It
we're
kind of
talking about
looks-
someone. I want to specify. We're talking about someone who approached us who wanted to kill the wave caller, and we're talking about whether we even want to talk to them.
Yes, the nameless red-haired woman Wesper who wanted to kill the wave caller.
Thank you. Wasn't
I
our
mean,
plan.
Give it a shot. If you think you're staying, then regardless, then you know, you're staying dead or is staying alive. So pick whichever
My
one you like more.
insight check, as he's saying this.
Sure.
I feel like this one's going to be impossible to inside check this character. Like, so deadpan across.
22.
Two. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if this blasé nonchalance is genuine, and if he seems like someone that is perhaps on the lookout for gossip, who likes to trade in knowledge, someone who pays very close attention to his customers.
I think Osiris, he has the kind of smile that you recognize in yourself. You can do whatever you want with that one, buddy.
So he's just a really nice, genuine person
He's
then.
a
Okay.
sunny, dispositioned, lovely guy. And he says, anyway, don't feel like you're being listened to. It's fine. I'm here if you want more drinks.
I made my position clear. The only way off this island is to be valuable enough to be allowed to leave. I don't know why the rest of you think it's anything but that.
I
And
agree.
generally, going, time being what it is, summarizing statements.
I don't think that we should change the plan just because we met some woman in a carriage for about 5 minutes. So I say we go to the vault and get that done. And takes a sip of his drink.
A battle against the Wave Caller would be near suicidal.
Near, I think, is a bit of an understatement. It would be
Well.
complete suicide.
One never knows with the future, but I think you're right, Modi.
Well, I think we don't lose anything by hearing her out. We don't have to commit to anything. And, I mean, God forbid, I would hate to murder someone, so I'm not really in any kind of... Well, I don't like the idea of, assassinating this wave caller, but surely just understanding what her plan could benefit us.
Fine, you know what, Osiris? I'm happy to hear her out. Fine.
So what? That's
Nice.
2 for the vault and 2 for the beach.
Oh no, I'm fully committed to the vault. I'm just curious to see what she has to say.
Right. What about you, Lucifer?
I vote we go to the vault, we use a job way here, and we use anything we can as a bargaining chip to leave. I don't think it was... It's very clear to all of you that we're not getting off this island as things stand right now, right? That was made clear by their non-answer. So either you trust this person's plan after revealing it in front of Seraph here, or you're like me.
I'm just the barman. Don't
Or
judge.
you're like me and you believe that killing somebody or threatening those close to you isn't a distraction.
Right. And
It's going to
Darim.
lead to retribution.
Yeah.
I am a simple man. And he looks sternly at everybody as if he hasn't been drinking, as if it's a really important conversation all of a sudden. For me, we can talk. I talk to her. She's yes. Talk to her. That's fine. For me, it is we go. We go, and it's embarrassing, it's cringe. He sits up and goes, we go hard. Or we go back to our house. So we go to the vault. We have to go to the vault. The only place. Go, and he does it again. We go hard, or we go to our house.
So was that 3 vaults and 3 talk to Vespers?
I think so.
Oh no.
Arim's, to clarify, was a fine talk to Vesper. Doesn't mind either way, but definitely go vault in the end.
Yeah, I think that's Modi's stance as well.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. So 3 vaults and then Mercy. Wait, is Mercy team
No,
vault?
Mercy doesn't have an opinion.
Wait, so that's 3 talk to Vespers, 2 vaults.
Classic centrist.
Okay.
You're gonna get splinters sitting on that fence, my friend.
In which case, we shall conclude the session with the party resolving not actually to immediately go hard, but in fact taking the softer route, perhaps, going to talk to Vesper, who asked that you meet her at midnight at the barge wharf, where presumably you will get further clarification on her plan, what that entails, and maybe enact it if you so choose, or just come straight back to your hotel where absolutely no one knows what you're scheming, nobody knows what's going on, nobody will be told anything, you are totally fine. Great! Cool!
What have
I
we
love
done?
non-resolutions. Right, let's have an offline discussion about why you're all wrong after this.
Yeah.
the
Brain
glory of
Lucifer,
the
we're gonna go
world.
solo. We're gonna do the vault. We don't need these losers. The rest of you
I
can
didn't
go
say
talk
I'm
to
not going
Vesper.
to the vault. I keep saying that.
You're all going to the vault before first talking to a lady.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes.
I will
Information is power.
see you all next week. Thank you all guys for hanging out in chat. It has been fun. It has been good. We will post more stuff on the socials, next campaign info, stupid art, TikToks of Luke being cringe yet super hilarious. Go hard or go back to your house is like my new life motto.
Oh my god.
Uh, yes. Thanks, guys, and we'll see y'all soon.
See you next
Bye-bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Also, join our Discord. Bye.
Bye.